And I don't think that's been the case for nearly 2 months edition. And I am going to miss Jeff Hafley if he gets a head coaching job. Yesterday was really fun, and I can see why his guys buy in. I wonder if Tausch agrees. Edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course everything you need on the amazing, customizable, free ESPN Wisconsin app, which you can find both in the Apple and Android app stores. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios, and from his undisclosed location, he is the Packers Hall of Famer. He's Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. I found that interesting right there because I did my hit. I'm sure you did your hit with Waddle and Sylvia already this week.
You know I haven't, and you know you're zinging me there. You know what you're doing. Don't do that.
Not. You did one. I did one. I thought.
Poking. What are you, Ben Johnson? You're poking. You're poking. That's good.
No, I'm not even poking. Their confidence level is very high in Chicago.
Mike McCarthy used to call that fake confidence.
Maybe. I hope you're right. But you just said something that I thought was really interesting. You think the vibe for a team that's lost 4 in a row, and its quarterback hasn't played in 2.5 games, 3 weeks, really.
Yep.
And you're telling me that the vibe is great. Why?
I think there's a couple of things, and we'll get to Jeff Hafley and what he had to say at the end of his. He banged the podium and walked off, which was kind of fun. I think there's, in talking with Josh Jacobs, in talking with Xavier McKinney, in talking with Jordan Love, I think there's very much and I would turn this around on you when I get done speaking, because I think you, with your 11 years of experience and all the big games you played in, you can tell when a team is nervous or skittish and when they're legitimately, we believe, mode. And the way they're carrying themselves, some of the things that they're saying. Jordan Love was all business yesterday, and I think he is locked in. That's what the kids love, that phrase, locked in. I think he is locked in. I think Josh Jacobs is really excited to be finally healthy. And I think he's eager, because he's barely gotten I think he had 4 carries against Baltimore. So he has not gotten to atone for his fumble against the Bears at the goal line. And he said it again yesterday, I don't fumble, we win that game. And he's right. They're in firm control then. The comeback is even larger that the Bears have to author, and I don't think they can do it. Xavier McKinney, which I mentioned earlier in the week, him not wanting to say too much about how he feels about his defense. I think they're really pissed off that they played the way they did against Derrick Henry and the Ravens, and they obviously didn't play all those frontline guys against the Vikings, so they feel like they have something to prove. I think they feel, without saying so, that they are the better team, and they didn't play like it the last time these two teams got together. And so now again, that's all well and good. It don't matter if you don't play to the level that you believe you will. If you go out there and you stink up Soldier Field and the alien spaceship that they put inside the old colonnades, then it doesn't matter. But the vibe I get from them is, we're not blanking around anymore. We blanked around in that game. We had them. We didn't finish. That was embarrassing. We're better than that. We're better than them. And we're going to go out and show it on Saturday night. Again, that is purely conjecture. I have nothing other than the feeling I get from being around them. But that's the vibe I get.
Did you have that same vibe last year?
No. Nope. Not anything close to that.
Okay.
You know why?
Oh, not even close.
Because they didn't beat anybody last year. Like, they were 0-6. I mean, 0-5 going into that game.
Who do we beat this year?
I was just going to ask that.
How many playoff teams have we beat this year?
The Bears.
The Bears. Who else have we beat? Am I forgetting somebody?
All right, first of all, I understand the Lions are not a playoff team. One of the reasons why the Lions aren't a playoff team is because the Packers beat them twice. They slayed the two-time division champs. You're going to tell me that those games don't mean anything?
I don't disagree,
they didn't make the
Jason. I don't
playoffs?
disagree, but we had this conversation last year. They beat all the teams they were supposed to, and they didn't beat any playoff teams. And then when they got in the playoffs, they didn't beat them. So it's not outrageous for us to ask that question because I wouldn't have asked because to me this game feels like, Green Bay, if you're in that locker room, from my perspective, we beat the Bears and we should have beat the Bears. We know we're better than them. We have to go out and prove it. But if I'm on a 4-game losing streak, I'm doing everything in my power to talk myself into believing.
Yeah, I don't think
I know
they are.
The last game, and that's why I found what you said interesting.
I appreciate your feedback. If you look at the Packers' schedule,
doesn't sound like you do.
I don't
Beat the Steelers. Bears and the Steelers.
Yes, they beat the Steelers.
Yeah, okay.
But here's the problem with that. The way it turned out, they don't have that many playoff teams on their schedule from this year. It's crazy.
Well, I was told it was a gauntlet of a schedule. You know what? Again, the NFC North was tough. Don't get me wrong. The NFC North was tough. The NFC West, much more difficult division this year.
Detroit, Washington, Cleveland, Dallas, Cincinnati, Arizona. None of those teams are in the playoffs. Pittsburgh in the playoffs.
A missed 40-yard field goal away from not being a playoff.
Barely.
Okay.
Carolina backing in. Beep,
Oh, wait, we
beep.
lost to them.
And they lost to them. The Eagles.
So
now
Lost to them.
we got 3 playoff teams, right? So far, out of 17 games, we're going
1 and 2.
All right. The Giants, no. The Vikings, no. The Lions, no. The Bears, they won that one.
2 and 2.
The Broncos, they lost that one.
2 and 3.
The Bears, they lost that one.
2 and 4. Okay.
And then Baltimore and Minnesota again.
Yeah.
So they only played
here's
6
the deal.
games against playoff teams, and 2 of them were against the same team.
2 wins against playoff
Jason,
teams
here's the
in
deal.
34 games, if you think about it.
Here's the deal. Last year, it was a pretty easy storyline. We were average.
Yeah.
We beat teams we should, and we couldn't get by any of the good teams. This year, we don't even really play any teams. Now, again, I'm not disagreeing with you on the Lions. The Lions blanked the bed. The Lions should have been a playoff team. They didn't. We obviously beat them twice. However that all shakes itself out, I am glad that we're playing the Bears rather than the Lions. I'll say that. Mm-hmm. But in the grand scheme of things, this season, regular season, it's not that much different than last regular season. It's just not. Like, you can sit here and say it is, but it's not. You're a 7 seed. You didn't win the division, and you don't have any monster signature victories against some big boy team. We just don't. Now, the playoffs can change all that, but I'm looking at it from how do I compare last year to this year? Because Micah Parsons obviously is a huge addition, and he was awesome, but he's not playing. Tucker Kraft is not playing. Mm-hmm. So while I agree that they should be confident going into Chicago on Saturday because of how they played against them, I don't know if it's that much different than what last year's team was.
Yeah, the vibe is definitely different. I think the quality.
I don't hear sloppy. Do you remember last year? All we heard was sloppy, sloppy, sloppy after that Bears game, and we're not hearing that, which is nice.
Yeah, I'm sure Cap would say I'm being soft or making excuses, but you going into Denver, They had won 4 in a row. They're leading 23-14. I don't know if you remember that game, but they were in control of the game. The deep ball to Watson that gets intercepted and he ends up leaving in an ambulance. Thankfully, he's okay. And then losing their superstar edge rusher and Zach Tom, by the way, in that game.
I think Evan Williams, too.
Yes, Evan Williams as well. So you're talking about basically a spiraling from about to win their 5th in a row and beat a team that had won 10 in a row at that time to then they're to use a word from the fugitive that I know you enjoy, their 4-game losing streak is kind of hinky. Like the one game where they absolutely positively lost was their horrendous, despicable defensive performance against Baltimore. Mm-hmm. Like they could have, if they were going to cut Clayton Tune anyway, they could have just forfeited last Sunday, and then we wouldn't have gotten to go to the Mall of America. But like, I understand what you're saying, and I think it's obviously a very valid point. But I'm just telling you, and
you're not buying it.
Well, my question for you is, and by the way, unexpectedly last night, lo and behold, a phone call from one Michael J. McCarthy, who thought...
Is he asking you which job he should take?
Titans
Is that right? Where are you leading him?
So he missed a call from someone other than me named Jason. And in typical Mike McCarthy fashion, he calls me, and I say hello, and he says, "What the hell are you calling me for? There's a lot going on right now." I'm like, what?
Hope there aren't any GMs named Jason out there with open coaching jobs.
I'm like, I didn't call you. Really? Yeah. And we had a great conversation, and it gave me the opportunity to ask him about that 2011 resting versus rusting situation.
Yeah,
we'll get to that a little bit later. I'll tell you later.
Very frustrating.
But my question for you as the NFL 11-year veteran on the panel.
Well, did you glean any fun information from Mike besides the 2011?
We had a great conversation.
What the heck? You're
we had
burying
such
me.
a great take. Well, it was off the record.
Not anymore.
Oh, okay.
An
OTR.
It was one of those great conversations. I don't know if you've had these where you get home and you're in your driveway, but you're connected to your Apple CarPlay or your Bluetooth or whatever in your car. You just sit in your car in the garage with the engine off and finish the conversation. It was great to talk to him. I mean, you guys, when he deserved criticism, I feel like I gave it to him, but I love the guy. Like, he's just one of the all-time greatest human beings ever. But anyway, you were the guy who played 11 years.
He wants
in the
that
NFL.
Giants job, doesn't he? He wants the Giants job, doesn't he?
Titans sounds
I think he should take
interesting.
the Tennessee job.
Browns. They were saying Browns would be a good fit.
Nah, too messy. Giants or Tennessee for Big Mike?
Arizona's nice.
He had an opportunity last time. He pulled out of that one. I don't know about Arizona, although that's where snowbirds go.
Baltimore?
I kind of hope he does. Arizona, boy, that NFC West is a battle. You're not going to want Kyler. I don't know about that one. Tennessee or Giants?
Black is a slimming color if he wears black at the Baltimore job. Huh?
Are you guys done yet? I'd like to finish this.
Yes. They're going to replace John Harbaugh. Might as well be with a Super Bowl champ, huh?
All right. Well, we'll get back to Mike McCarthy and a point that we should have both made yesterday when we were talking about that 2011 loss to the Giants. Definitely interviewing with the Giants and the Titans, though. Having played 11 years in the NFL, and having had Mike McCarthy as your coach, who would talk about real confidence and we're nobody's underdog and all that good stuff. Did you have games where you faked confidence and you knew you were in trouble? And did you have games where you could feel the vibe that I'm talking about? Because, again, I'm just a reporter who's around these guys. I'm not a member of the team. You would have had a better feel for your teams than I would have when I was covering you. Did you have instances of both where you were kind of convincing yourself to believe, and then other times where you were like, no, this is real, what we're feeling, and we have good reason to feel this good about ourselves as we do?
Yeah, I've always told you that the biggest value that a legitimate franchise quarterback gives you is you have 53 dudes that believe you can win every game. And there may have been a few instances, tough road games maybe, that you'd think everything will have to fall your way. But there was not one game that I suited up when I was with Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback that I didn't believe we were going to win. And is maybe that somewhat delusional? Maybe a little bit. And maybe if I look back and really think on the 05 season when we started off and things started sliding, did I then think, oh, boy, what's going to happen? I still believed we'd win. And it's probably completely delusional. But the biggest value that a quarterback of that ilk gives you is you have that advantage that you have everybody believing we'll find a way. So I don't think there was ever a time where I walked into a stadium and thought, we're screwed. Never once. That includes Baltimore when we get beat 48-3. Until we started getting our blanks beat in, I thought we'd beat them. And because you have to be a bit delusional to play this game. You need to have that confidence. If you don't have that confidence, who the hell is going to have that confidence? Now, you can ask Joe Thomas. You can ask guys that played with teams that were constantly rotating quarterbacks.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I'm certain they'd have a different answer than what I'd have.
Yeah, no, I agree. Did you guys, were you as blindsided, and I know you were injured that season, as was everybody else, but when I look back on Michael Vick coming to Lambeau, like, you guys were so decimated with injuries. You went into New York to play the Jets. Was it Chad Pennington and Wayne Krebetz, I think? If you won, you got the number 1 seed. You ended up getting blown out. You end up as the 3. You play at home against the Falcons. They come in, they block a punt, they beat you. Like, you guys, I would love to have known what that 2002 team would have been had it not lost everyone and had Mike Flanagan playing left tackle, because that had a chance to be a pretty damn good football team. Did you sense the vibe there was kind of, we got to convince ourselves we can do this, or not really?
No, I mean, I think we never lost a home playoff game until then. I don't think there was anyone that thought we were going to get beat. And obviously that wasn't the case. So that's why I think vibes are great. Vibes are awesome. And it's much better to have great vibes than bad vibes. And I'm certain not everybody felt the same way as I did. I'm very confident of that. But I can also assure you a vast majority of the guys did.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll see if that vibe is right or not. We'll find out on Saturday night, and maybe I'll be on Green Bay game night in the wee hours of the morning driving back to Green Bay saying,
you're not staying over, huh? You're not going
no.
to stay over?
Well, I just want to make sure that if for some reason...
They let you sleep in the press box if you're really grinding away, or they kick you out?
I don't know. I've never tried. That's an interesting question.
That might be
I would
something.
assume not.
Take a nice sleeping bag. Get you a little big old water jug.
Pack some
snacks.
Yeah.
Work all day. Get up. Work there. Finish. Grab yourself a 5-hour nap and head home.
I am curious how things will play out.
Lord knows they feed you there. You could, kind of squirrel some stuff away.
I will tell you this. That was. In all the years I've gone to Chicago over the last 30 years, and I didn't go to every single one, but almost every single game, the food was the best it's ever been in the press box. So I'm expecting. I go in with high expectations for Saturday night.
I also clean out the fridge night. All the leftovers.
Shredded cheese.
Yeah.
I bet you they got shredded cheese. The cheese graters that they
with
got
those foam graters. Yes, I go in expecting the Packers to win, and as you mentioned, Bears fans go in expecting the Bears to win. We'll see who ends up being right. I can tell you this, you're always right when you go with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin to replace your windows.
And for your New Year's resolution, the sky is the limit with Pella's 0% interest for 4 years finance offer. No payments, no interest for 4 years. Think of everything you can do in 4 years. College degree. Raise your toddler until they're ready for school. Vote. Your kid could vote. That's where I'm at next election. My kid will be able to vote. He's driving. Now, what a world we live in. That's how long 4 years goes. Start your journey towards meeting your personal goals and enjoy Pella's highest quality products with exclusive features and custom made for your home. This deal ends January 31st, so schedule your free consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Jeff Hafley spoke yesterday. We will touch
you got
on
a man
his
crush, boy. You got yourselves a man crush, you do. Posting videos immediately after, getting hundreds of thousands of views.
It's adorable.
And I almost feel like you're smitten with him. Like, look at you. That's the biggest smile you've had in years.
No, that's not true.
Since that furry deal. Since you were dressed up as the furry dude.
That's Paula smiling in that one. He and I have
I
a
bet
great
you were smiling under that furry. Who are you kidding?
There's definitely a smiling guy under there.
You're smiling under there,
yeah.
Elmo.
Ear
Where
to
do you
ear.
think, Hansy? Old Hansy McGee there, Elmo. Yeah, look at you smiling.
Are you done?
Yep. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
He's got one more. I think he's got one more.
I don't know if I do. The Hansy McGee might have been a bit too far.
I do have to confess that when I would wear those costumes for events, and we did it there I am with Rob Vogel and his lovely wife Luann and their son, who is now fully a grown man. Every time we would take a picture, I would still smile underneath the Grover head or the Elmo head, which of course you can't see my face, so I don't know why I would do that. It was just a Pavlovian thing. All right, I want to get enough about this. We got to get into Hafley, not just his candidacy, but again the vibe coming from him and what the expectation is for this defense, because there's a lot. This defense has a lot to prove after the way things played out in the last minute and a half of regulation and overtime in Chicago, and then the way they played against Baltimore. We'll get to all that coming up. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
It's Faison who rises up, throws it down. Faison Fields is a man possessed.
Faison Fields and the Milwaukee Panthers men's basketball team take on Northern Kentucky this Friday. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. at Panther Arena. From clutch three-pointers to rim-rattling dunks to game-changing blocks, you'll experience all the action. Ticket prices start at just $23. Help tilt the floor this Friday at 7. Visit MKEPanthers.com for tickets. Panther Athletics for the MKE.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been Milwaukee's one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
It's a new year, and everyone's talking resolutions. Eat better, move more, give up everything fun. Yeah, Carbless says you don't have to do that part, because when you reach for a Carbless, you're choosing a better-for-you cocktail. With 0 carbs, 0 sugar, only 100 calories, and full of flavor, you can stay on track with your New Year's resolutions without having to commit to dry January. Start 2026 with balance, not guilt. Your goals matter, and your fun does too. Carbless, your New Year's first good decision. When a trophy is raised, it can feel like the season's over, but on the ESPN app, it never really is. Because with more than 47,000 live events, plus originals, highlights, and coverage from every corner of the sports world, there's always something to dive into. No off-season, just everything a fan needs to keep going. Always in season, get all of ESPN all in one place. Download the ESPN app on your TV or phone today.
With your Saganiac Plenty Marquette recap, I'm Chris Larson. Marquette picked up its first Big East win of the season, edging Xavier 66-65 at Fiserv Forum. The Golden Eagles led for more than 36 minutes, but had to hang on late, getting a huge offensive rebound and dunk from Ben Gold with 48 seconds left to secure the victory.
James penetrates in the lane, throws up a wild shot with the left hand, missed it badly again, gets his own rebound, gets to Ben Gold. He stuffs it and finished perfectly.
Marquette improved to 6-10 overall and is back at Fiserv Forum Saturday afternoon to host Villanova.
Your business is unique, and your health plan should be too. At United Healthcare, our group health plans are built for you and your employees. Whether you're running a small startup or managing a large enterprise, we offer solutions designed to fit your needs, your goals, and your budget. Explore your options today at uhc.com/Wisconsin. Insurance coverage provided by or through United Healthcare Insurance Company or its affiliates. Administrative services provided by United Healthcare Services, Inc. or their affiliates. Health plan coverage provided by or through United Healthcare of Wisconsin, Inc.
Can you feel it? It's the thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating 3. Yeah, you know the feeling. And there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration. Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space with dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxe seating, great food, fiery atmosphere, and a monster video wall. Become a legend at Potawatomi Sportsbook. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Wilde and Tausch back with you. Jesse, what did somebody call Tausch in the YouTube comments?
Buzz Killington.
I hope you're good enough that you have that up on the video stream already. I can't see, but I'm guessing you will. How am I killing the buzz? Because Jason is euphoric about the vibe that the locker room has.
I'm not euphoric. I'm just reporting the vibe.
You said the vibes are awesome, is what you said.
They are.
And Tausch is over here 2 days before a wild card playoff game against the Bears saying, we haven't beat anybody in 2 years.
No, listen, man. I don't know if there's anybody that wants to beat the Bears. I mean, obviously the team and the coaches and the players. I don't like the Bears. Nobody that's a Packer fan likes the Bears. You can respect them, but I don't want to go through an offseason, man. Like, I'm selfish when it comes to this job in the regards of narratives are what they are. And we're going to talk about the narratives and how fans are feeling. And I'm telling you right now, if this goes south Saturday night, we are in for a long off-season of negativity. I don't want to be about that life. So selfishly, I don't want any part of it. I want us to smoke the Bears and shut everybody up. I think it's going to be a tough ball game. And I think for me to be Buzz Killington, because Jason comes in here today telling me how great the vibes are, that's awesome. I love that the vibes, I want those guys to believe all that. But I also have to look at this thing realistically and say, confidence is a huge part of, confidence is everything in sports, man. Talent's great, but if you don't have confidence to go with it, confidence is built off of success. And this team's had success this year, but they haven't had anything for a while. And you have a lot of guys that have not played much. These are just facts. So I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up your blank. I'm not going to. I think the Chicago Bears are going to give us a very good game, and I think the Packers are better and will win. And I haven't made my prediction yet, but I believe the Packers are going to go down to Chicago and win. But I'm not going to be naive enough to sit here and say it's going to be easy, and because our vibes are great, that we're going to go smoke them, because I do question what is behind this great vibration that the Green Bay Packers are vibing on in the locker room. I think that's a fair question to ask, and you can call me Buzz Killington all you want. That's the question I have.
With this green and gold fix, I'm Buzz Killington.
To mediocrity and beyond. All right, so...
Well, Jason, how else can you describe this season but mediocre?
All right, so a couple things. First of all, breaking news from the NFL, the Dolphins have fired Mike McDaniel.
Oh!
Which they said they weren't going to do. And now that John Harbaugh's available, they are doing it. Mm-hmm. I find that to be very interesting.
Retirement job.
Secondly, look, as has been pointed out, when there are not Buzz Killington references, look, the Packers defense has to show up. The YouTube comments point out that have they faced Rome Odunze all year?
I don't think so.
They have not.
I don't think he played neither.
Burden suffered an injury a couple weeks ago. He's going to be back. Like, look, the secondary's got to be on point. My game day story is going to be on Keyshawn Nixon because he has.
Did you get him to talk? Did you get him to talk?
We did. Yes.
Nice.
It was very nice. And then he was mad that he didn't get the Mully Award. He's been here 4 years. I said, hey, well, don't let Nate Hobbs prevent you from talking after a game. So
I bet you didn't say that.
I didn't say that. No, I didn't. I said, well, maybe next year.
It would have been funny to say that to him. His reaction should have been, I don't know what the hell I was doing, letting that happen.
Yeah, he and I have a very good relationship with him, and he is very good with the media when he speaks. He also swears a lot, so it's tougher on the folks that have to post audio of that. So, speaking of good relationships, you're teasing me a little bit. I do want to play this because if you're going to accuse me of having a man crush on Jeff Hafley, I feel like I was flirted with yesterday. Because
he flirted with you.
Yeah. So I arrive for Rich Bisaccia. All three coordinators referenced this. So we do not have assigned seats in the media auditorium. But there was a out-of-town reporter from Chicago who he has no idea. I wasn't mad at him. I wasn't skulking around. How dare you sit in my seat?
It's always the out-of-towners.
You got bumped, huh?
So he sat in my seat, so I get there and I go sit somewhere else, and Bisaccia's first. He's like, Wildy, what are you doing? Why are you sitting there? Well, there's somebody by. Then the guy left. And so then you're faced with the decision of, okay, do I move back to my normal seat or do I stay where I am?
He was only there for Bisaccia? He left for the other two?
I don't, like, yes. Again, I'm not here to judge how other people do the job.
I'm telling you right now, I'm nervous about our punt return. It's Saturday. I'm nervous.
I'm also nervous about your punt and kickoff coverage. No Bo Melton, no Zane Anderson. They might be getting Nick Neiman back, but that
I don't
against
think I feel
Duvernay,
as bad as I did before that San Fran playoff game, but it's closer than I'd ever thought I'd want to say it is again.
You really are a Buzz Killington.
That punt return, it's been a hot potato all year. I just got I'm nervous about Romeo coughing one up.
Yeah, it's fair.
I am.
It is a fair statement. Fair. So anyway, Hafley arrives to find me in a different location. And again,
why didn't you get up and go sit back in your chair?
Because the guy left as Bisaccia left the podium, and then Hafley walked in, so I didn't want to be moving as that transition was occurring. So I just stayed put. And here's what happened.
Who do you sit next to? Do you sit next to Demo?
I don't sit by anybody. I don't like anybody. I'm a loner.
You know that.
Yeah.
Well,
I would have thought one of your brethren would say, hey, that's Jason's chair.
Nope.
But no?
Nope. Okay. That didn't happen.
All right, continue. Hell of a deal you guys got going over there.
So it's like Lord of the Flies over there. So Jeff Hafley comes in, and this is what happens.
Not in the right seat. Someone took your seat?
then he left. So would you be more comfortable?
Do you guys have assigned seats? Is that like how we are in meetings? Can you believe he's sitting there?
It's kind of like high school, you know.
How would it be? You know what I'd really like if one day I came in and you were right in the front row.
Maybe next week.
I'm just so used to as soon as I come in, Rob, are you okay with that?
I like my seat. Anybody check it out, hit him in the back of the head.
Tough guy.
I'll tell you what, Robbie. I really appreciate you guys, because no matter what kind of day I'm having, I come in here and I always get a smile to start. So thank you.
I think you're the first defensive coordinator who's ever said that.
I mean it. Like, we got a good group here, so I appreciate everything for this year, and hopefully we got a couple more weeks to come here. All right.
Setting the stage for something he'll be saying later.
He's a deuce and B. Go get that head job, Jeff.
Baltimore, line 1.
Beyond the self-servingness of, hey, the defensive coordinator noticed I wasn't in my seat. Tausch, this is why I sent it to our group. You can see how good he is at connecting with people. Like, I've covered a lot of coaches, and some of them are more understated or they have really dry senses of humor, like Joe Philbin. Every coach has a different personality, but you can see that he has that knack for connecting. And that, again, selfishly, I would love for him not to get a head coaching job. Being great with the media and being great in front of TV cameras is not the number one priority for hiring a guy.
Not
Bill Belichick,
but you
among them. But you can see he knows how to command a room, and I'm eager to see how his interviewing process goes, but we'll have to wait and see. The other reason I wanted to play that is because hopefully we got a couple more weeks. That is not what he said later on when we discussed his love for having been in Green Bay. I know some people thought they heard past tense. I did not while I was sitting there. I want to play that coming up after Tausch tells us about Prize Picks.
Well, it's January, which means routines are back. Sports action never slows down. You got big football matchups, playoff intensity every week, and elite hoops every night. And when there's this much going on, it always feels good to be right, and that is especially on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is daily fantasy made simple. Pick at least 2 player projections, more or less, and you're done. No drafts, no waiting. Talking lineups you can make in under a minute. You got college football playoffs rolling. NBA, you had a big night from Giannis last night. You got Steph. You got all of that action. That's not even starting with all of the NFL playoff action you got going. You also can stack. Pick the same player up to 3 times in one lineup. Points, assists, and threes all together. Only on Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use that code WI, and you'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that's code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good
to be right. All right, I want to get to what Jeff Hafley said. It was in an answer about his time in Green Bay, but the walk-off is worth seeing if you haven't seen it on social media or somewhere else, because, again, I think it plays into the vibe of this team, but it also gets us into the conversation about this defense has to come to play, and they deserve the criticism they've received for some of their performances, regardless of how likable Jeff Hafley is. Last question. Who is our Photoshop guy? Is it Greg? Is that the guy on Twitter that does
Greg's
this for us?
Photoshop guy. Yeah.
Here's what I want, because I want you to take a cartoon Buzz Lightyear. I want you to put Tausch's face on him. And I want us to mass produce Buzz Killington t-shirts that say "To Negativity and Beyond." And all the proceeds go to the American Family Children's Hospital. We'll get to work on that. We'll also hear from Jeff Hafley again next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
The Don has spoken.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And sponsored by American Family Insurance.
We love the Packers. We bleed green and gold. And every time our team takes the field, well, it's pure football bliss. If only there was a way to experience that blissful winning feeling every day. At Associated Bank, we've got you with 10% off Lambeau concessions and 15% off Pro Shop merch. All when you get Packers checking from Associated Bank. It's how Packers fans keep winning on game day and every day. Associated Bank, Bank of the Packers. Learn more at associatedbank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Why Z-Bart? Because you don't want rust holes in your expensive vehicle. Let Z-Bart keep the rust away with professional rust protection. Only at Z-Bart.
As of Thursday morning, there's 8 head coaching vacancies in the NFL following the conclusion of the regular season. A popular name to fill one of those slots, Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, who told reporters Wednesday that right now it's all about the green and gold, at least until the season comes to a close.
I'm just honored to be in those. I think right now with all that stuff, it can be a distraction, so I'm trying to lock in on these playoffs and do the best that we can, and then whenever that time comes, we'll figure it out and go from there.
For now, Hafley's focus is on what was the NFL's third best rushing offense in the Chicago Bears. I'm Alex Strofe.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee.
Do you want your car to shine like a diamond? Then you need Z-Gloss from Z-Bart. Z-Gloss gives you a mirror finish and protects your paint from everything Mother Nature can throw at it with a 10-year guarantee. Visit zbart.com for more information.
Kick off the new year with a smarter home and bigger savings with Exterior Pros and Baths. New windows to lock in the warmth, durable roofing, eye-catching siding, or a stunning bath makeover. Start the year off right and get $3,000 off your project. That's right, $3,000 back in your pocket during our New Year savings event. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. This deal won't last all winter. Exterior Pros and Baths. New year, new home, done right.
Something exciting is happening at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. On the second floor, you'll find the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, Milwaukee's destination for bold flavors, fresh sushi, seasonal entrees, and cocktails crafted with care. Start your day with a breakfast that fuels you, stop in for dinner that sparks conversation, or linger late into the evening with drinks designed to inspire. With flavors and drinks for every mood, the Studio is the perfect place to gather, celebrate, and connect. Be boldly social. The Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, now on the second floor at St. Kate the Arts Hotel.
Can you feel it? It's the thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating 3. Yeah, you know the feeling. And there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration. Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space with dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxe seating, great food, fiery atmosphere, and a monster video wall. Become a legend at Potawatomi Sportsbook. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
Hey, it's your friend John McGivern. In a world full of chaos, I'm grateful for a health plan that has my back. Network Health is so reliable and trustworthy, they always put me and over 126,000 members first. It's just what they do and what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
Hey Tom, I want a new hoop for the kids. Any ideas?
Yeah, I got mine from Precision Sports over 10 years ago. They helped me choose the right hoop, installed it, and even painted my court lines.
Nice. How do I reach them?
Easy. PrecisionSportsOnline.com for a free quote.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Mostly of me. Per Lizalicious09, who I go to for all of my television references, Liz points out that Buzz Killington is a Family Guy reference / character. Jesse, did you know that?
I had heard it. I haven't watched Family Guy in a long time, but I do recall the character in the show.
Sarah's not even listening to the show today, and she just called me and said, "Why did someone just text me Sarah Killington?" And I said, "I don't have a clue why someone would text."
Well, because she's married to Buzz Killington.
That's her new
No,
name.
and then she's like, "Well, what was your last segment about?" And then I'm like, "Oh." I guess that's.
You needed some help putting that together?
Well, no, I did, but I just none of it made any sense. Like, why would they go to there? I mean, Sarah's not the one saying the Packers lost 4 in a row, and you know what I mean.
Does she think the vibes are good heading into Chicago?
I haven't asked her, so I don't know. I don't know where Packer fans' vibes are. I think there's a very strong confidence, but I'm going to say this, and this is, I know I feel this way. I was confident on top of confident heading into that game against the Bears at Lambeau, and the Bears showed me something that game. Now, the Packers won that one, and then obviously I actually felt better about how we played in Chicago, and we lost that one.
Mm-hmm.
So my confidence is not as strong as it was a month ago. That's just how I feel. And that doesn't mean I'm right or wrong. I still believe we're a better team, and I think we have a better quarterback. And I think we have a better defense. I think they have a better running game. We'll see what ends up winning. That's how I feel. Buzz Killington.
Again, I appreciate everyone's feedback. I am not telling you.
I don't think you do, though. You say that, but I don't actually
guarantee you he doesn't appreciate this feedback.
But you don't appreciate it. Just speak your mind. You hate it, right?
I don't know what the fan base's vibes are, so let's find out. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Look, I'm not. That's great. The vibe ain't what Wildy says. Fine. Great. Were you in the building? I'm just telling you what the vibe is. And look, I don't want to be this guy, but I have done this for a little while. I've been around teams.
Someone told me.
I've been around teams that one of our friends of our show was planning his ride share of a private jet back to Florida after the season ended before you guys even played a game. And I overheard in the locker room, didn't report it because it would have been a big to-do, but it wasn't said to me directly. It was not on the record. So I did not think that was the right thing to do at the time. I will never name the player. But
I think I know.
The vibe was not great that season. So I'm not guaranteeing a victory. Vibes don't mean, if I could swear, I would say the S word. Vibes don't mean blank here. But sometimes they do. And I'm just trying to tell you what it is like in that locker room right now. Now, I don't think it's false confidence. They could be wrong. They could be as confident, but as Jeff Hafley said,
so
also
if they're
yesterday.
wrong, Jason, if they're wrong, is that false confidence?
No, I don't think they're convincing themselves to have a good vibe.
Okay.
If they go out and get beat, and they actually get beat by the Bears because the Bears play better, as opposed to the way they got beat by the Bears the last time, which I think they are convinced was them losing, not the Bears winning, then it doesn't matter what their vibes are. I'm not here as some sort of fortune teller to tell you, oh, the vibes are great, they're going to win. That's not what I'm saying. But I am in the building. I am around them. I do talk to them. I'm telling you the vibe that they are giving off. And it's not just one person. It is a host of people. The conversation with Josh Jacobs yesterday. Look, motivation is great. Execution is better. So they have to do it on Saturday night. But
how would you power
rank
vibes, motivation, and execution if you were power ranking?
Well, first of all, I just want to say this. For a team that has lost 4 in a row, they do not feel at all. I have been around teams that have lost 4 in a row. They don't feel that way. They don't. So
do they feel it's fluky? Do you think they feel like it's a fluky 4-game losing streak?
Yeah, I do. I do think they think that. Yes, I do.
Because I actually agree with you when you were going through it. The Ravens game, no fluke about it. We got our brakes beat in. And that happens in the NFL. The Vikings game, as I told you, and you were trying to prop it up as some big ordeal, it was a nothing burger. I don't care one lick about that game. I didn't care about it but when it was scheduled, as we saw how it was going to go. The Bears game we gave away, and the Broncos game was lemony snickets, a series of unfortunate events. So I don't disagree with you, but I also know, and there is a difference between not all 4-game losing streaks are the same. This would constitute a goofy run-up. The Ravens game is the one that's most concerning. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Denver, with the injuries, even more so. But I get what you're saying, and if I'm in that locker room, I am on that horse making sure you and all of your media folks are putting out the same thing, because I do believe those guys believe it. I'm not saying it's false confidence, but I'm also saying 4 games in a row and not playing for 3 weeks, there's going to be some doubt. I don't care how great your vibe is. When you don't go 3 weeks in an NFL season, which, as I've told you a billion times, blank happens quick, man. Things change. We went from being the division-winning 2 seed to being a tie away from not being in the playoffs. So all of that can be true, but there's no doubt they have a strong vibe that they got a good football team. But there is some doubt when your quarterback hasn't played in 3 weeks, your tackle hasn't played. There's a litany of things that I would also have not high concerns about, but I wonder how the game's gonna start, because you don't just snap your fingers in this league and say everything's back to normal when you go from regular season intensity to postseason intensity. Mm-hmm. That's another thing to deal with. That's all.
Yeah,
you can buzz Killington you want. That's my point.
It's a good point. I am not betting my children's college funds on the Packers winning. I am not assured and guaranteeing a victory. I would like to get to what Jeff Hafley said.
Will you wear a cheese grater if they lose?
No, and I'm not jumping in Lake Michigan and all this. No, I'm not. No, not doing any of that stuff.
Okay.
Why do people keep wanting to jump in Lake Michigan?
I don't know. Go jump in a lake. Go boo at a
if you're
bar.
going to jump in a lake, the Great Lake, I've told you this many times, Superior is the great jump-in lake. It is.
Would you be so kind as to tell us about Annex Wealth Management so we can get to the audio?
I appreciate you. I don't know if I like your vibe when I just got done talking about the Great Lakes to jump in. I told you go up to Madeline Island up there. I don't love camping outdoors. I do it once a year. I would camp outdoors with the soothing sound of Lake Superior rattling up against my tent. I would do that. I would. Now, what do you want me to do? Talk to you about Annex? Is that what you said?
Yes.
You want to go camping up at Lake Superior? You want to get a little nest egg put away? A lot of people make New Year's resolutions. Many of them, they crash and burn, and sometimes it's lack of discipline. A lot of times it's bad advice. Get on Instagram, TikTok. You start guiding decisions off of internet experts. Well, sooner or later, for most people, it might take a talk with an expert. And if you have a resolution that deals with your money, your earnings, your investments, talk to experts. And I got the team at Annex Wealth Management. That's the experts you need to talk to. I've been over there. Their facility and their resources that they have are top-notch. They have a team of experts ready to listen and talk you through your financial goals at Annex Wealth Management.
More vibes.
I didn't decrescendo enough. What was?
There's not a there. Again, they're an awesome partner. I'm invested with them. We love them. The decrescendo of that read is a little bit tricky for me. I'm not always sure you're done.
Being a little bit of a Buzz Killington to his Annex Wealth Management message there.
Yeah, his vibe's crappy on that one from Jason. We'll get better.
More vibes next. It's Wildy and Tausch.
Go to nxwealthmanagement.com. I'll have to figure something out like that. We'll get it.
Wildy and Tausch on.
This is Wildy and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Experience hot gaming action and a relaxing spa day. Your perfect winter getaway at the island. Book a stay and float package to get both a standard room and a rejuvenating 60-minute float pod therapy session for less than $100. Complement your stay with an elevated dining experience at Horizon Steakhouse and fun on the gaming floor where big wins wait for you. The Island Resort and Casino's stay and float package runs through February. Call 800-682-6040 to book yours today. Certain days and restrictions apply.
4 years. That's enough time to earn a college degree, to serve a full term as a president, to train for something big and become someone new.
You bet, and get 0% interest for 4 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, so you can invest in your home and in life's biggest moments. With exclusive features and customizations, Pella offers the highest quality products at a price you can afford.
Aim high when setting your New Year's resolution, and imagine what you can do in 4 years when you finance your home project with Pella. Visit PellaWI.com today.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Michelle Smallman.
I don't know what that conversation was like with him, because maybe he said, I want to be here, and I'm not going to lie about it. I want to come back to Baltimore, and I want to coach this specific group of players, and if you don't want me, then I'll take my services elsewhere, because obviously he's going to be in high demand. I don't know what that discourse looked like when they came to this decision, but I don't need the optics. Someone to have this big fluffy press conference and for them to stand side by side like we saw Kraft and Belichick do when we know what it is. Right. We know that the results were not there, and that despite winning a Super Bowl, they wanted to go in a different direction. Ultimately, he's going to be honored there. He's going to be a huge member of that organization's history, and we're going to get all that at a later date after he goes somewhere else, because he will coach somewhere else, and he will be coaching somewhere else next year. So I get what you're saying from a respect factor, but optically, I don't need all the pomp and circumstance. We know what time it was.
Avatar Fire and Ash has arrived.
I am the fire!
Get your 3D tickets now for the greatest chapter of the biggest saga in history.
Whatever happens, protect his family.
Critics rave it's by far the best Avatar movie.
If your father and I do not return, go as far and as fast as you can.
Movies don't get any bigger than this. Avatar Fire and Ash, rated PG-13, now playing.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Every so often in medicine, something comes along that is truly revolutionary.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, former orthopedic surgeon, now National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
I believe this is one of those things.
Dr. Scheinkup is talking about regenerative medicine, something he's practiced, researched, and written about for nearly 2 decades.
The old ways of dealing with joint pain, such as steroids and surgery, are no longer the best ways.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, you owe it to yourself to learn more about this exciting option, using your own body's natural power to get lasting relief. And there's no better place to learn than QC Kinetics.
There is no one in this country today with more clinics, more satisfied patients, more advanced protocols, or more experience in using this exciting option to deliver life-changing results.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298.
You're listening to Wildy and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
We're going to play Jeff Hafley's walk-off yesterday. Because seriously, I'm trying to think of the last time I saw a coach do a walk-off like that, other than Denny Green, where he bangs the podium and we let him off the hook. I think when I get too riled up, this thing turns on me. So we're going to play that, and then we're going to take your calls and your texts. Because I am curious where the fan base vibe is. You can choose to believe me. You can choose not to believe me when it comes to that locker room vibe and the way players are presenting themselves. Maybe they're all faking it. Maybe they're like, oh, my God, the Bears are so much better than us, and we're going to get our brakes beat in. But I'm going to pretend like we're not worried. But the bottom line is, I'm telling you that that's the vibe that I get. And I don't ask for much around here, but I have spent a lot of time in the Packers locker room for a long time. So maybe I know a little thing or two about reading people.
You ask for a lot, though, too. Let's not care. You do.
Here's Jeff Hafley. Are you wearing the ladies' shirt again?
Yes, I am. It's comfy. You know what? I like it. It's not a ladies' shirt. I checked the tag again.
Does it got shoulder pads? Do you have shoulder pads?
It does not have shoulder pads. It's a nice shirt. I like the shirt. It's a comfy shirt. It works well with the Packers sweatshirt I was wearing today. It's a little toasty in here, though. And all the ladies in the office say it's not a ladies' shirt. So I don't care what Becca or any of you say. It's not a ladies' shirt.
Interesting that Becca, though. It's at our camp. Here's Jeff Hafley wrapping up his Q&A session with reporters yesterday.
Jeff, can I ask you the same question in a different way?
You can ask me any question you like, because even if I said no, you would.
Fair.
But you always phrase it like that, so you set yourself up for me. But I can't wait to see how you ask the same question differently.
Me too. Okay, well, here we go. You don't know what the future holds, and neither do I. But to think about where you were a couple of years ago, you're coaching your own college program. What have these 2 years meant to you? And what do you think about what you've put together with this group, and just what has it been like for you? Because it seems that you're pretty damn passionate about this group that you've been.
Yeah, I love this group. I love being part of the Green Bay Packers, and I never take that for granted every day when I drive in and I get to see Lambeau Field, honestly. I mean, I'm a guy who started coaching Division III football and worked my way up to be a college head coach, and now I'm part of the greatest NFL organization that there is, getting to call the plays. So that is so humbling to me. I love the defensive players that we coach. Like, I love these guys, and I love the staff, and I love working for Matt. And I never take that for granted, not 1 second, which is why when I answer that question, I don't think it'd be fair to anybody in here, anybody a part of this, for me not to give everything I have for this game. Would one day I like to be a head coach again? Absolutely, for sure. But like, just even answering this question for you right now, I just am so grateful and so happy to be here and be part of this. And I've just loved coming to work every single day here. Like, even joking with you guys, like, I know sometimes it's hard and you ask hard questions, but you guys have been incredible. And I mean that. And it's not like that everywhere. So I thank you guys for that. Everything that I have been a part of here, from Goody to Ed to Matt, it's just been like, what a blessing to be here for me and my family. So I appreciate that. And we are not going to be done. So I will see you guys next week.
Bam.
Tausch, when you see that, what do you think?
I love it. He's a leader. I think the way he approaches things, it's not how, I don't know the old quote. It's not how you do everything, it's how you do everything. That's the gist of that quote. He handles his business the way he handles his business, and it's not sometimes, it's all the time. I don't know how you cannot sit through his pressers this year. And by the way, sans a few games, how his team has played. It's one thing to sit here and then your guys go out there and stink. Mm-hmm. That has not been the case. The guys love playing for him. You remember all the Joe Barry, I'm going to go with this guy, and I don't like the way he's covering. I don't like this. How many guys have you heard say any of that this year? Have you heard anybody?
Nope. No, you have not.
I wonder why. Is it maybe because he's taking input And he also has a system that the guys believe in, and he sells it. And coaching is about selling. You have to sell your vision, and then you have to be able to deliver on your vision. And he's done that, and you can just tell, man, he's been a head coach. This is part of the job, and it's not as important as the scheme and, the understanding your players' talents and utilizing them. But he brings a confidence to a group. And here in Green Bay, when this Green Bay is quarterback offensive coordinator driven. It has always been. It's been a hashtag fire this coordinator really since Fritz Shermer. That's what it's been. Haven't seen any hashtag fire Hafleys. And there have been, maybe after Baltimore, there should have been a couple.
Right.
But he's built up enough goodwill. That's why all this other little stuff matters. The belief that the guys have. It made me that. You want to talk about vibes and why the vibes are good? That's a vibe setter. Loved everything about it.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. Jesse has taken some calls. I would love for us to get a few more because I've told you what my perception is of the vibe in 1265 Lombardi Avenue. It's not overconfidence. It's a resolve. It is a feeling, and it may mean jack squat come Saturday night, or it may mean a hell of a lot. And maybe in that locker room after the game, we're talking about how, look, this is how we felt all year and all week, and we came out and did exactly what we thought we were capable of doing. I don't know what's going to happen. But the question I have now is, what's the vibe that you get as a fan? You're not in the building. You are getting it based on being around your fellow fans, seeing what this team has done. They have lost 4 in a row. I get it. So if your vibe is different than what I'm telling you their vibe seems to be, I understand.
Would you say it's a hanky? Would you say it's a hanky 4-game losing streak? Is that the word used?
Hinky, yeah.
Hinky.
You got to see The Fugitive. It's such a great movie.
I think I should, yeah.
844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. We got to get moving here because we've got Tom Waddle scheduled to appear. Want to remind you that a new year means you need a new mattress. Right now at Steinhafels, you can start 2026 feeling rested and make an impact while you're at it. All January, stop in Steinhafels and test rest any mattress. For every test rest, Steinhafels donates $20 to Special Spaces Wisconsin on top of the $1,000 they donate for every field goal the Packers make, helping create dream bedrooms for kids battling cancer. And then here's the bonus, just for trying a mattress, you get a $20 lunch gift card. Better sleep, free lunch, and a great cause. The January Test Rest event, only at Steinhafels. The 10 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes.
I got a quick question for you, Jason.
We don't have time for that. Write it down.
Okay, we'll get it later.
Oh.
Did you see how I did that?
That was good.
10 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes. Stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Willie and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. Well, it's a new year, and that means new goals. Iron Jock is here to help you stay committed to those goals, whether you're hitting the gym, heading to work, or just trying to smell a whole lot better in 2026. Formulated to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, Iron Jock keeps you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. But right now, you can get 30% off all Iron Jock gear on orders over $75. Just use promo code ESPN30. That's ESPN30 for 30% off your order over $75. Shop now at ironjock.com.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, founder of the Neal Group and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. Happy New Year. Hopefully you enjoyed the holidays and spent time relaxing. Now it's tax time. I know, it's not the most wonderful time of the year, wondering if you are getting a refund or owe, waiting for all the forms to come, and wondering what is deductible. Control the situation instead of letting it control you. Let us help you understand all the new tax laws, how they affect you, and how to take advantage of them. Last year, we helped Janet and Norm go from owing $43,000 to getting a $500 refund. We can help you, too. The first meeting is free. Call now, 414-325-2040, or visit neilgroup.net. You earned it. We help you keep it. That's 414-325-2040 or nealgroup.net.
Basketball fans, watch DME Academy on the campus of St. John's Northwestern Academy in Delafield this Friday and Saturday. See high-flying Wisconsin recruit LaTravian Fenderson, 7-foot recruit Bull One Rock, and 6'10" Trev Rodemaker. This is elite high school hoops. Youth coaches, bring your teams to see DME Academy basketball. DME plays Friday night at 7 and Saturday at 4 p.m. with free admission on the campus of St. John's Northwestern Academy in Delafield. Be there this Friday and Saturday for DME Academy basketball.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wildy and Tausch. What's your vibe?
Tausch, did I make you forget the quick question you had? Or did you write it down?
No, we'll get back to it.
Okay, you're good.
I appreciate, I know some people are like, well, that was awkward. I loved it. Stern, fair. You're running a show here.
Yeah, we got Tommy Waddle coming up at 10:30, and we won't get to him on time, of course. But I would like to be respectful of his time, even though I haven't gotten an invitation to be on their show this week, and you were already. Let's go to the phones. 844-770-3776. Let's begin with Reggie in Texas. Reggie, thanks for holding on with Buzz Killington and Wildy and Jesse. How are you feeling? What's your vibe about the Packers?
Well, my vibe is this. I'm feeling good because of the empty red zone trips we had. And I think I'm sorry to use the term we. Sorry, Tausch, I'm not a player. The Packers.
No, we're all Packer backers. We're good.
Okay, well, great. Thank you. I feel if the Pack can convert a few of those. I wanted to weigh in quickly on the whole Buzz Killington thing. Let's not confuse trepidation and concern with negative thought. I think Tausch is just showing the proper restraint and concern that a respectable citizen or responsible adult shows. And as far as the Hafley thing goes, maybe, Jason, keep in mind, we've all had rabble-rousers and class clowns, and the teacher always knows where that class clown and rabble-rouser sits. So don't get too carried away because Hafley knew where you sat.
Nice.
Oh, the rabble-rouser. I like that.
Rabble-rouser.
Big rabble-rouser.
Buzz Killington and rabble-rouser.
I got to tell you, Reggie, you dropped some great – this is a great call. A rabble-rouser, trepidation. Like, as someone who enjoys words, great call. Appreciate it. Tausch, do you have trepidation about this game? Or are you – so you're not brimming with confidence? Rabble-rouser.
As I told you before, the best way I can describe my vibe on this game is I believe we're better and we will win, but I think it's going to be very difficult. And I do not have the same amount of swagger that I had going into the game at Lambeau. I thought the Bears were a team that has found ways to win close games. I think their coach is good. I don't think their defense is that good. I think it's opportunistic, and if you don't turn the ball over, you're going to beat them. I still feel that way, but I am concerned what I saw against the Baltimore Ravens. I'm concerned that the Chicago Bears have averaged 5 yards a carry, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, Jason, against the Pack. I'm concerned that they're giving up 140-some yards to this same team. I'm concerned that the weather's going to suck, and it's built for a game like that. I'm concerned it's at Soldier Field and not in Green Bay. So, yeah, I have trepidation. I do, but I still believe that that's a good-looking picture of me, too.
There you are, Buzz.
Youthful. Buzz Killington.
That's courtesy of Robert on Twitter. And by the way, he said, "Here's my buddy Jason. He's the sheriff."
That's pretty good too. That's really funny. All right, now let's put us side by side, and we'll make a shirt. All right, let's get to another call. 844-770-3776. Let's go to Texas and talk to Mike, and then we'll get to Ann and Mequon. Mike, good morning. Welcome to Wildy and Tausch. What's your vibe?
The vibe is anything is possible. I mean, I think this is the craziest year we've had in a long, long time. I think they could beat the Bears. I think if they play the Eagles, I think they could beat the Eagles because the Eagles got internal struggles. So anyone can win. I mean, really, I think there's not one team you say. Even Seattle, I still don't have a lot of confidence in Seattle because of Darnold. But, I mean, they've got the talent. They've got the ability. Matt LaFleur, they got experience. So, yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'm not, none of us here, and Tausch just expressed his trepidation. And, Mike, I know you're a very positive Packers fan. You call all the time, especially on Mondays. It's weird that we're taking some calls on a Thursday. It's throwing everybody off around here, including Evan Cohen, who might hear this later, going, they took calls? They never take calls other than Mondays. But, yeah, that's the weird thing about this team, to Mike's point, right, Tausch? I think we run a promo where you essentially say the exact same thing. They're capable of beating anyone, and they're also capable of losing to anyone. And that's what they've shown this season. So I don't know what's going to happen on Saturday night. I'm not pretending that I do. I am just trying to give you a glimpse inside the building as to how people are carrying themselves. And I think Jeff Hafley let a little bit of that out with the banging of the podium and saying, I'll talk to you guys next week. We're not going to be done. Let's get to one more call before we're done with calls for now. Let's go to Ann in Mequon. Ann, good morning. Thanks for holding on. How you doing today? What's your vibe?
Good morning. My vibe is positive. I go back to after we had our first 2-game winning streak, and I forget who the player was that said they thought they could go undefeated.
Shito!
That kind of vibe that I think you're seeing. You're seeing in the locker room, and we have to beat the Bears.
They look. You're 100% right. First of all, there was that vibe after 2 games. They beat teams that had been to the NFC Championship game the previous 2 years. On top of that, Rasheed Walker hasn't spoken to us since. So they are not, and this is, I think, I'm really glad Ann made that comp, because what you don't hear, and why I'm saying that it's more of a quiet confidence and resolve, is Jeff Hafley is the only one who's been outwardly demonstrative and really said something that was even in the same vicinity of Shito's we could go undefeated. Which, again, I miss talking to Shito. I say hello to him when he goes by, but he has zero interest in having a conversation with us anymore. He is scarred for life. All right, I want to get to a few of your text messages. So you could continue via the Carbless Talk and text line, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. We may pick up calls again a little bit later after we've talked to our buddy Tom Waddle. For now, we're going to get to some of your text messages on the Carbless Talk and text line. But before we can do that, Tausch is going to tell us about American Family Insurance.
Oh, I am. I thought I was going to tell you about Iron Jock, and I was trying to figure out what number. Jesse, what number do you think we're going to
Am I in the wrong spot on the show sheet again, or is this one on Old T?
This one's on Old T. We are talking. I'm not even thinking about what number caller we're taking. We're talking about American Family Insurance.
American Family Insurance is a proud sponsor of Wildy and Tausch, and for almost 100 years, American Family, they've been committed to making life better with the right home and auto protection, all so you're free to enjoy your dreams. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com.
Your texts next from the Carbless Talk and text line. It's Wildy and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
I've been to my fair share of green and gold games, and the best way to get there is with Accutrans Group. At Good Karma Brands and ESPN Milwaukee, we use Accutrans Group to get our partners to and from Green Bay, and it's always first class. From stadiums to concerts and tailgates, your game day fun starts the moment you step on board. Sit back, relax, and let their professional chauffeurs handle the traffic while you enjoy the ride. Accutrans Group is Milwaukee's premier ground transportation, available 24/7 with sedans, SUVs, limos, vans, and buses. Book today at AccuTransGroup.com.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
4 years. That's enough time to earn a college degree, to serve a full term as a president, to train for something big and become someone new.
You bet, and get 0% interest for 4 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, so you can invest in your home and in life's biggest moments. With exclusive features and customizations, Pella offers the highest quality products at a price you can afford.
Aim high when setting your New Year's resolution and imagine what you can do in 4 years when you finance your home project with Pella. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Get ready for kickoff with great deals on football party favorites all this week at Sendik's. Check out Sendik's Natural Black Angus Ground Sirloin for just $5.99 per pound. Perfect for chili, burgers, and even upscale nachos. 2-pound bags of large cooked or raw clean 31 to 40 count shrimp are just $17.99 per bag. That's less than $10 per pound. And don't miss Sendik's homemade taco dip trays for just $6.99 per pound. Let Sendik's help you score big at your game day party. Sendik's, your trusted local grocer.
Can you feel it? It's the thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating 3. Yeah, you know the feeling. And there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration. Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space with dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxe seating, great food, fiery atmosphere, and a monster video wall. Become a legend at Potawatomi Sportsbook. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your Green and Gold Fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank. Tri-City National Bank offers a full suite of personal and business banking products at more than 25 convenient locations. Open your account today at the community bank that's Milwaukee's best bank. Learn more at tcnb.com.
As of Thursday morning, there's 8 head coaching vacancies in the NFL following the conclusion of the regular season. A popular name to fill one of those slots, Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, who told reporters Wednesday, right now, it's all about the green and gold, at least until the season comes to a close.
I'm just honored to be in those. I think right now with all that stuff, it can be a distraction, so I'm trying to lock in on these playoffs and do the best that we can, and then whenever that time comes, we'll figure it out and go from there.
For now, Hafley's focus is on what was the NFL's 3rd best rushing offense in the Chicago Bears.
This has been your Green and Gold Fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank.
Concerned about fraud? Tri-City's got your back. Use debit card alerts. Help stop a card hack. You'll get notified when your card's being used so you can prevent your account from abuse. Tri-City National Bank, member FDIC.
Hey Tom, I want a new hoop for the kids. Any ideas?
Yeah, I got mine from Precision Sports over 10 years ago. They helped me choose the right hoop, installed it, and even painted my court lines.
Nice. How do I reach them?
Easy. PrecisionSportsOnline.com for a free quote.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
I love this funky tune. Buzz Killington. Which, again, I want to apologize to you fans of Family Guy. I have not watched that show. I'm sorry that I didn't get the reference. I personally like Tausch inside a Buzz Lightyear suit.
Do we like this one from Jackrabbit Mama better than we like this one from Robert?
I think they're
like
both
that one
great.
better.
Why's that?
Because he looks so young and handsome.
Yeah.
Jesse, what do you have on the text portion of the talking text line about the vibe among Packers fans?
Matt in Beaver Dam. I told a Bears fan friend from Chicago that we have a bye on Saturday night. He's insane how good he thinks the Bears are this year. I told him they are last year's Vikings. Matt in Beaver Dam. So Matt's vibe's very high.
Yeah, he's feeling pretty good about his team, it would appear.
I like the comp.
They've won a lot of close games. They've lost their last two. No one, and maybe I just haven't seen it from, the Brad Biggses of the world and Dan Wiederer and the rest of my guys that cover the Bears. But is there a negativity about the Bears coming in with a 2-game losing streak, including losing to a team that had nothing to play for when you played your guys? Or is there not that? Is that not a thing?
No, I think there's probably listen, there's doubt on both sides here. This isn't like you have two extremely confident, like we're the world beaters going. That's just not, I don't think, where either team is right now. I think this is all based off of you just played 2 games in a month. So you know what's going on, and it's not like, oh, we beat the Bears back in September. Well, September might as well have been 2023. As we're looking at it now. It's a totally different football team on both sides. So I feel like both teams feel very confident, whereas before this series started this year back in early December at Lambeau, the Bears were not confident. None of them were. Waddle, Sylvie, Cap, their fans. I think there was this sense of, we'll see. Yeah, It's been good, but we'll see. Well, now they've seen and they believe. And whether that's a fair thing to do with the way the game's played, I don't know, but they're 1-1. And if you look at this, the last 4 times these two teams have played, it's come down to the last play of the game. That's crazy to me.
It has. You're 1,000% right. And will it happen again on Saturday night? Again, I think the Packers feel like it is their fault it came down to the last play of the game in the last game.
Because it was.
Both games,
yeah.
Really.
Well, that's true, too.
That second half, listen, I want to sit here and look at things from a rose and a green-colored glasses. The Bears kicked our keister in the second half at Lambeau.
In Lambeau. Yep,
Flat out.
Right.
They were better. That 2 quarters and then the last 3 minutes in overtime, that's been it. We have dominated the rest of that time. We did not do a good enough job in the red zone, obviously, the last time out. That'll be a huge. But I'm telling you right now, if the Bears don't if that Bears defense doesn't create turnovers, they're not beating us this weekend. They're not.
From the talk and text line, has Wilde ever been around teams that have lost 4 straight heading into the playoffs, or is this new territory for us? Yeah, there's only been 3 other teams in NFL history that have lost 4 games going into the playoffs.
How many have won a world championship?
No, none. One is yet to be written. Natasha Bedingfield, the Packers. The other 3. The only one of those 3 that won a playoff game after losing 4 in a row going into the playoffs was the 1986 Jets. You never want to be in a conversation with the Jets.
Kenny O'Brien, Freeman McNeil, Joe Klecko.
What is that?
Mark Gastineau?
Can we turn that face into a GIF? Can we do that?
That was my Wildy face.
It was a new twist on it, that's for sure.
Was Mark Gastineau part of that crew?
I'll have to fact check that. Who would have been coaching them? Richie Kotite?
No. That old dude with the hat. He wore that funky hat. Freeman McNeil was
Tom
their tailback.
Landry.
No, he's the running back.
No, the tailback. Yeah, that's what I just called
right.
him.
No, who would have
McNeil.
coached them? The answer is Joe
I know.
Walton.
I can't remember his name. He's a
Funny
shorter
dude with
he
the
always wore a
hat.
hat.
Yeah. Joe
like a fedora
Walton.
type hat.
Joe
there you
Walton.
Go. Yeah. Is he
Al
part of the
Toon,
Walmart Walton crew?
No, different Walton. Al Toon of Olsen Toon landscaping fame. Also a great NFL player and great Badger. Was a Pro Bowler on that team.
Well, I think he's known more now for his partnership with
lawn work.
Olsen Toon.
Can he put in some good-looking shrubs? One of the greatest Badgers in history, Al Toon. Mickey Schuler was the tight end. There was another name that I know you wanted to get in there. In terms of their roster and memorable players on there,
wow.
Freeman McNeil was indeed the running back. The elder Marion Barber. His son played in the NFL too, but he was on that team. You got it. Kenny O'Brien was the quarterback. Your defensive lineman, I don't see Joe Klecko or Mark Gastineau on here.
Okay. Who's on there?
Wait, I take it back. They both ended the year on injured reserve. So, yes, they were both there. They're in a different category here on this sheet. Along with Johnny Lamb Jones, who I remember that was one of my favorite players back in the 80s as well for the Jets. But, yes, great poll. I wonder if the 80s Bears that our guy Waddle played on ever played against the 86 Jets. We'll have to find out because Tom Waddle of Waddle and Sylvie fame gives us the feeling he gets of the vibe of the Bears. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hey, it's John McGivern here. You know I love Network Health. One of the reasons is that they're local and they understand how important that is. Their exceptional customer service isn't just words on a page. It's what they do. It's what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart, located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. National Liquor Mart is packed with deals for all your beverage needs, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily.
Looking for their third win in a row, the Bucks fell 120-113 to the Warriors in San Francisco on Wednesday night. The Bucks rallied from 17 down in the fourth and cut it to 7 late, but couldn't complete the comeback. Giannis Antetokounmpo led the Bucks with 34 points and 10 rebounds. Here's head coach Doc Rivers after the game.
We thought we could generate a ton of threes tonight, and every time we went downhill, we did. And I thought we stopped doing that. And I thought the reason is because we stopped trusting.
The Bucks dropped to 16-21 and continue their West Coast road trip against the Lakers on Friday.
This has been the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN, brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. Well, here we are. It is 2026. Remember last year when you said never again? Did it work? You didn't start your business to spend lots of time doing bank reconciliations, cash flow projections, or inventory analysis. Let us help you keep your New Year's resolution to stay on top of your finances and keep your books up to date. Don't do the same thing this year and expect different results. Start the year off on the right foot by calling the Neal Group to help you understand your numbers and make them better. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call 414-325-2040 now to set up a meeting to see how you can make 2026 the best year ever. The first meeting is free. That's 414-325-2040 or visit us at nealgroup.net. That's NEALgroup.net.
It's time for the Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Matrix Basements.
Marquette picked up its first Big East win of the season, edging Xavier 66-65 at Fiserv Forum. The Golden Eagles led for more than 36 minutes, but had to hang on late, getting a huge offensive rebound and dunk from Ben Gold with 48 seconds left to secure the victory. Head coach Shaka Smart proud of his guys for finding a way to win.
Happy for our guys. You know, when you put so much work into a preparation and into a game, you want the guys to feel like their work is warranted, and you know they feel that right now with this win.
Sophomore Royce Parham led 4 MU players in double digits with 14 points and 8 rebounds. Marquette improves to 6-10 overall and is back at Fiserv Forum Saturday afternoon to host Villanova.
This has been the Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Matrix Basements. Visit gomarquette.com/matrix to enter to win 4 tickets to National Marquette Day Saturday, February 7th when Marquette hosts Butler.
When a trophy is raised, it can feel like the season's over, but on the ESPN app, it never really is. Because with more than 47,000 live events, plus originals, highlights, and coverage from every corner of the sports world, there's always something to dive into. No off-season, just everything a fan needs to keep going. Always in season, get all of ESPN all in one place. Download the ESPN app on your TV or phone today.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Joining us now, well, the Bears are still in Chicago before they move to Gary, Indiana. It is my favorite Bear? I really loved watching Walter Payton growing up. But he's probably still my favorite Bear. Even though they had Tausch on their show and not me. It is the great Tom Waddle on Wilde and Tausch. Tommy, good morning. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me today, guys.
So
You're a
I
liar,
have.
too. Yeah, there's no chance that I'm your favorite Bear. No chance. I'm not buying
It's
that.
a pretty short list.
I agree with Waddle.
No,
I agree with Tommy.
I mean, who would be ahead of him? Like, who do I have
You said when we
relationships with?
When Urlacher joined our show, you said you loved him. Like,
No.
that's just how it goes.
Simone Biles' husband.
No,
Yeah,
no, not
Biles'
Jonathan
husband.
Owens. No.
Hunter
none of these.
Hillenmeyer.
I have a short memory and thick skin, so it doesn't bother me.
It's true. I don't have either one of those. So I was telling our fans, some of whom did not appreciate what I considered insight, but they did not, that there's a resolve and a confidence, but not an arrogance, is the vibe I'm getting from the Packers players this week. Now, vibes don't necessarily translate to victories. Those are two different V words. That said, I do think that my taking the temperature, I think it's fairly accurate. We'll see what happens on Saturday night. What's the feeling you and talking with folks that are in Hallis Hall regularly, what's the feeling you get about how the Bears are feeling about this game? Because they've lost 2 in a row, but they still seem to be feeling themselves pretty good.
Yeah, I think that, I think there's an implied trust that exists inside that building, player to player, player to coach. And, I think they created a really nice relationship when the season began. We had no idea what Ben Johnson's response was going to be to this team that won 5 games the season before. But in training camp, basically they coached them up hard. They said, look, trust what we're asking you to do. You'll see return on your investment. And when you do, we'll all find a common place. And I think we saw that. I think the first couple of weeks of the season were very, very difficult. They made some changes. There were some difficult realizations that had to take place with regard to some of the players, and they found common ground and they found a better path. So I think there's an internal confidence, and I'm not so sure, guys, that like they look outside their own building right now. And I don't say that as arrogant, but I do believe there's this feeling that we'll play anyone, anywhere, at any time, and we feel good about ourselves. They're not a finished product by any stretch, but I think that there's this trust and this confidence that exists that this team, this coach, and, specifically the quarterback, the relationship between the quarterback and the coach, I think there's this high level of trust that gives them some confidence internally for sure. And the one thing I would say, Jason, is they have found ways to win football games. And I was thinking about this, before coming on, and I was like, if I was a Packer fan, how would I feel? And I would feel good about your team and your playoff experience. But this year, tell me if I'm wrong, I think you guys have found ways to lose games. I don't know that I've ever seen a season where a team didn't punt in 3 games and lost those games. And if I'm not mistaken, you guys punted once against Denver and lost that game as well. So I think they find strength in the fact that, while they're not a finished product, they've found ways to win games.
Boy, that's really good.
Tommy, what do you think, though? Because, we were on a 4-game losing streak here. Last week, I don't really count. Your team has found ways to win games, except for the last 2. So where's the confidence level? Is it because this, you make a playoff, everybody will just say, wipe out the regular season. No, it's over. That's done. But how much residual from these last 2 games do you think this group carries over, or is it just let's rock and roll?
I'm with you, Tausch. I'm a believer that momentum is a real thing, especially in the sport. And my actually stepping back to last week's game against the Lions, I was projecting that they were really going to come out, have a good effort, hang a big number on them, and go into the postseason feeling good about themselves, especially after how well the offense played in Santa Clara against the 49ers. Couldn't have been more wrong. They came out flat. They racked up 270 yards and only 16 points against the Lions defense that was giving up 30 a game the last 6 weeks and was missing more than half of their defensive starters. So that was something that really surprised me. I think this team can kind of shrug that off. I think they're still in that, they're in the honeymoon phase with their coaching staff, and they're out of the hell that has been the last couple of years. So they're still, even in difficult moments, I think they still pick and choose some positives to build on. I would say even in the last 2 games, like that offense is going to get in the huddle. If they're trailing by 12 with 4 minutes to go, they still believe they can win because they have found themselves in those situations and found ways to win. Now, they've also come up short, but the fact that there is some proof of concept that, hey, if we find ourselves, then we're down by a certain amount, we're not out. And I think that draws some strength from that. But I'll tell you this, if they go into this half, this game at the half without scoring a single point the way they have the last 2 home games in the postseason, I think you're tempting fate because it's an entirely different animal.
Tommy, when you look at where their defense is, it's the same narrative all year long, right? Oh, they take the ball away. I don't know what to make of where they're at defensively, because that may have been my favorite game to watch as someone who wasn't covering it, that 49ers-Bears game a couple weeks ago. That was as entertaining of a game as you could have asked for. Entertain me, as Tausch likes to say, I think, every time. But it was super entertaining. Not if you love defense, though. And then their finale against the Lions, it was a kind of a knockdown, drag-out 19-16 game. Where do you think they're at defensively, and where are they at in terms of their health? Because Lord knows that while some may think that Ben Johnson was not referring to Matt LaFleur not playing his guys when he said, we play football around here, I feel like that might be a naive view of how Ben Johnson operates.
Well, maybe he was talking about Sirianni and the Eagles as well. I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
Which that one didn't make any sense to me. I understood why your guys didn't play.
Agreed.
There was no benefit. One, you didn't go anywhere. If you're Sirianni and you win that game, then you would have gotten the number 2 seed and would have had home field for as long as,
Yes.
You wanted. I could not understand it in any way, shape, or form. But But I digress. What was your question? I've already forgotten about.
And by the way, because that's why Ben Johnson played his guys. I don't know what Ben Johnson would have done if the number 2 seed was locked up and they had nothing to play for either. But that's neither here nor there. Where do you think they're at health-wise, and where do you think their defense is at?
Yeah, I was trying to ignore the defensive question. I thought we could just skip to something else because they're not good. They're running out of gas. I think I give them credit for their red zone defense, but I also think circumstance is part of the equation as well. I don't think you can rely on the Green Bay Packers marching the ball up and down the field, not punting in a single time in the game, running for 192 yards, beating you with their first-string quarterback or their second-string quarterback, and you're just going to hold them to 0 touchdowns on 5 trips into the red zone. I don't see that happening again. The following week, the 49ers were 5 of 5 in the red zone. And wouldn't you know, last week, the only thing that kept that game close again after the Lions went up and down the field again was the fact that they were 1 of 4 in the red zone. So I think that I give them all the credit in the world. I think that turnovers can be something that the trend can continue throughout the course of a singular season. I don't think that you can connect the dots from the 2025 regular season to the 2026 regular season. I don't think they carry over that far. But during the course of a single season, I think it's infectious. It's really the only way, guys, that they're hanging on. My expectation would be that you'll come out and you'll play a lot of zone. You will hopefully get Kyler Gordon back, but you probably aren't going to have C.J. Garner-Johnson, who has struggled in coverage. Other than that, you're going to have most of your guys. I don't think Jalen Johnson is healthy, or he's certainly not the player he was last year after the surgery he's had. If you want to line up and try and play man coverage and bring 6 or 7 and try to get after Jordan Love, my expectation is you're going to find yourself in the same bind you found yourself up in Lambeau, or you're going to find yourself in the same bind you found yourself when C.J. Gardner-Johnson was covering Dobbs and got beat on that deep ball. So knowing that they have issues, they don't rush the quarterback, their only statistical, bright light is taking the ball away. No team in the postseason has given up more yards and more points than this Bears defense. Sit back, try to eliminate the big plays, force Jordan Love and that offense to go the length of the field, and hope they either make a mistake, you take the ball away, or they make a mistake in the red zone. I always felt like roll the dice in the red zone if you're a bad defense, because it's more difficult for the offense. It's a confined space, and I think you find more mistakes made. Like I go back to the second game, and Love on 4th down tries to throw this low percentage throw to Christian Watson on the sideline when the guy in the slot is wide ass open, and he just makes the wrong read. And then later in the game, when Willis comes into the game, and on 3rd down, like the Bears defense parts like the Red Sea, and all he had to do was run it into the end zone. He tries to make another low percentage throw. So I think when you get into the low red zone, there are times where even efficient offenses are more prone to make mistakes. And that's where the Bears have come up, rolling 7s.
So, Tommy, you just gave a great overview of your defense, struggling to rush the passer. I think Green Bay feels really good. They're going to move the football. It's going to come down to, can they score in the red zone, not turn it over. On the flip side of that, and I told you guys this yesterday, I think the concern level that we have is we just watched the Baltimore Ravens run the ball down our throats, and then you guys reminded me of you guys averaged 5 yards a carry. And even in that game at Soldier Field, it didn't feel like you guys had much flow until the end of the football game. But the goal of this game for you has to be jam it down your throat. Don't give the Green Bay Packers a ton of opportunities. Control the game like you did against Philadelphia in a really impressive way. That's got to be the formula Saturday if it's going to be the Bears bearing down.
Yeah, Tausch, I mean, just even set aside the offensive element of what you just described, which I agree with 100%. This defense that we just talked about over the last 3 weeks has been on the field an average of 36 minutes per game and has had to defend 70 plays per game. They're giving up 419 yards per game the last 3 weeks. As I said, they're running on empty. So what's the best way to defend your defense is to come out
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Wisconsin is still cattle country, and that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here, you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org.
With your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, I'm Will Summers. This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is West Allis Central Jr. and Iowa State recruit Yusuf Gray Jr. Gray led the Division I second-ranked Bulldogs to an impressive 71-44 victory over Lakeside Lutheran at the NY2LA Invite at Kettle Moraine High School. He finished with a game-high 21 points, helping West Allis Central pull away after a tight first half. After trailing midway through the opening period, the Bulldogs closed the half on a 12-4 run, then outscored Lakeside 33-17 in the second half to secure the win. Gray knocked down 10 field goals, with 8 of them coming at the rim. A top 150 recruit in the class of 2026, the 6'5" point guard continues to anchor a Bulldogs team that remains unbeaten at 6-0. Congrats to Yusuf Gray Jr., your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Did you forget the first day of school is this week and little Nancy still needs her name embroidered on her backpack? Or the company shirts are due now, not next week. Maybe the boss just declared Steve's retirement party is today and the shirts are mandatory? Whatever the rush, Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more in Mequon has got you covered with fast turnarounds, no minimums, eco-friendly printing, and high-quality custom apparel. Big Frog brings your custom ideas to life fast. Stop by Big Frog in Mequon or visit bigfrog.com/Mequon. Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more, where your ideas leap to life.
Hey, it's Gary Ellison for Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking to escape the cold or take a midday break? Get your game on at Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center, where it's always golf season. Play more than 2,000 courses, including over 50 right here in Wisconsin. And even that famous course where they hand out green jackets. Top tech simulators, great food, and the best Bloody Marys around. This is your year-round slice of summer. Bays start at just $35 an hour, Monday through Friday. Book your bay today at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
All right, as much as I would like that to have been Jesse's fault, I can't say that. We ran into a internet issue in the building. So Tausch and I think we're just talking to each other, but neither of us could hear each other.
Well, tomorrow night is the big rematch, and it's bound to be a good one. Mark Tauscher here, and if you're wondering what to serve at your football party, Sendik's has it covered. Just one stop at your local Sendik's food market, and you are a football party pro. A great party starts with great snacks like Sendik's homemade taco dip for just $6.99 per pound. And everybody will love Sendik's game day wings in a ton of different flavors for $7.99 per pound. And Sendik's homemade bourbon meatballs for just $8.99 per pound. And by halftime, your group is going to be hungry. Sendik's is featuring Black Angus ground sirloin for just $5.99 per pound. Ground sirloin is perfect for burgers, chili, and even upscale nachos. And if you want to try something completely different, Sendik's is hosting a build-your-own calzone event Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 4. Boy, that sounds fun. Load it up on cheese or meat or veggies, however you like it, for just $7.99 each. Don't forget Sendik's has an endless variety of beer, bourbons, or whatever your party guests prefer. Let Sendik's help make you the football party pro.
Big trucks can be intimidating. If you've been seriously injured in a truck crash, call Gruber Law Offices today. Trucking law can be extremely complicated. You don't want to take on the insurance company alone. Gruber Law Offices has the experience, the resources, and of course, the results. We know truck law. We know the rules and regulations. We know what it takes to win. Call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Can you feel it? It's the thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating 3. Yeah, you know the feeling. And there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration. Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space with dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxe seating, great food, fiery atmosphere, and a monster video wall. Become a legend at Potawatomi Sportsbook. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
This is Brian Balaga. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN.
94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Hi! How's it going for you? This is Wilde and Tausch, believe it or not. We ran into some technical difficulties in Madison. We're still working to resolve those. Jesse and Ashton and the whole crew are working on it. We've lost Tommy Waddle, and we don't know if we'll rejoin him at any juncture during the 11 o'clock hour. He's got his own show to get ready for. But Tausch, I thought Tom Waddle was very insightful and also realistic, especially talking about the Bears defense. And I'm super curious, even more so than I had been before, about what this Packers offense, which may show some rust early in the game, will do against it. Agreed?
Yeah. I just think, for the concerns I have, which is Baltimore and Philadelphia, what Chicago did to them. And I don't know about you, it didn't feel like the Bears ran it down our throats down in Chicago. It did in the second half of the game up at Lambeau. That is the concern because Ben Johnson knows his football team. He knows this defense is not going to slow down. It's not going to stop the Green Bay Packers. At best, they're going to slow down, and if they can get anything close to the results that they did the last time we were in Soldier Field, they'd take it today. He knows they're going to have to score, and I would bet they're going to be Dan Campbell-esque on fourth down. I think they realize if they get opportunities, they're not going to be able to have any empty possessions because they know where their defense is. And, being out on the field the last, I think Tommy said 4 games, 36 and a half minutes, that's a lot of football. And it's a short week for them. They just had a long day at Soldier Field against the Lions. They were out there a bunch. They're banged up. They got one of their corners with a concussion. They got another guy coming back that they hope can play. He's not going to be, you talk about rust. He's been out for a while. So that's where my confidence comes is that I just feel like how rusty are we going to be early? Because if we're not, I don't know how this Bears defense is going to be able to, without creating turnovers, how are they going to slow down this offense? Christian Watson, et cetera, because they didn't do it when Malik Willis was in there at quarterback.
I thought it was interesting as Waddle was talking about that and some of the injury issues they have in the back end that, again, this was, and I don't rip in any way Ben Johnson for playing his guys. I agreed with Waddle, and I thought I saw you nodding along too. I don't understand why Nick Sirianni didn't play his guys in his game with the number 2 seed at stake. It made no sense. That said, that was the danger, and that was the thing that they were trying to avoid in Green Bay when they played in Minnesota, was to not lose a guy. And look, they were still close to losing a guy, right? I mean, they lost Bo Melton, but they almost lost one of their key defensive pieces. Because there was a moment where it was a scary deal with Javon Bullard. So that was the risk. I'll be very curious to see. So I don't know when we're taking our next break, so I'm going to tell this story because we talked about this yesterday, Tausch. So Mike McCarthy, called me on purpose, but inadvertently because he thought he was someone else named Jason was who he needed to call back that he didn't. I don't know. Maybe he's looking to have a Jason on his defensive staff in Tennessee. But I asked him about 2011 and whether or not if he would do it differently if he had to do it over again, because that's what we were talking about. I told him we were going to use this, so this was on the record. But what he brought up, and frankly, I failed yesterday, to point this out, and I should have, because I now remember very vividly what it was like. He believes that what he did wrong, Tausch, was how he handled Joe Philbin's son's death. And how heavy that was for players. Joe Philbin is one of your all-time favorite coaches, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So you know how beloved he was, and for what he was going through. And I went to that funeral, and Domofsky went to it was a lot. And Joe coached in the game, and maybe he shouldn't have. Everyone grieves differently, and he probably needed that maybe for something to think about other than what he was the tragedy he was going through. But what Mike's point was that he felt like he didn't do a great job of handling the team and their emotions, and that there were a lot of guys that had never been to a funeral before on that team. And I thought that was interesting because that's one of those things that kind of gets lost to history, right? Like, it doesn't really get talked about. We talk about, well, they rested all their guys. Well, yeah, they did. And then they had a bye week. The Cowboys went through a tragedy this season that just happened to occur while they were on their bye. Like, this happened days before that playoff game against the Giants. You weren't on that team, but I assume, and tell me if I'm wrong, that you can identify with, the idea of dealing with something very heavy like that and how it can affect your performance, right?
Well, I mean, it's always tricky to kind of get inside the psyche of how everybody's going to handle something because obviously you could look at the flip side of that with Brett and when his dad passed and it was completely galvanizing and something everybody kind of coalesced around and we really took that and I thought ran with it until we didn't. I don't know what you could have was there no doubt? I think that funeral, because I went up to it as well. I think it was either a Thursday or Friday before that game. And it was, I mean, it's heartbreaking. And you see someone in pain like that you care about, and he's obviously a huge part of what you're doing. Players will compartmentalize, no doubt, but there can also be a cloud hanging over you that is really hard to kind of get out of. And when you factor that in along with some rust and you get off to a slow start, and at that point during that season, Kansas City had beaten them, but outside of that, it was pretty smooth sailing. There wasn't a ton of adversity that group had to deal with outside of that year.
Right.
And for whatever reason, it just things didn't click, and they couldn't come back from it. So there's a lot there. I'm not saying you blame any of it. There's the defense that year wasn't very good. That's
Agreed.
Another part of it that you have to look at. It was this offense is so blanket good, nobody's going to be able to keep up. Well, you just a little bit off, and that's why I'm a little concerned Saturday. It doesn't take a lot. Postseason, you're playing a good football team. You're not playing a bunch of schlubs where you can fiddle-fuddle around and, don't worry about it, we'll figure it out and we'll overdo it. That's not how playoff football works typically. So that game, you fuddle and fiddle around, and next thing you know, you're down big at half and you can't come back. Yep. I don't think the Bears' offense is at that point, and their defense certainly isn't. But when your defense at that point wasn't as good, you can't make a stop, then you're just chasing your tail. That is not going to be the case this Saturday. I don't believe.
Yeah, and Mike did mention there was a throw early in the game that should have gone for a touchdown that Rodgers and Greg Jennings missed by just a smidge, right? And that may have been exactly what we're talking about here, right? That 2-week layoff. Both of those guys did not play in that Lions finale, and then you have the bye week. So maybe that is part of it. I will, again, reiterate, I am very curious to see how they come out offensively, because everyone knows that if they go 3 and out to open the game or Love throws a pick, it is going to be, should have played your guys. Jordan Love hasn't played in 2.5 games. And
Matt LaFleur knows that. He knew that when he made that decision.
Yep.
Obviously, the decision was out of his hands in that Baltimore game. But last week, this is the deal when you're a big boy coach, man. You make these decisions knowing second guessing can be right around the corner. You always do what you believe is best for your football team, and you can live with that. This is how he feels. We'll see if it's the right decision.
All right, we need to try and get recombobulated here after a couple of technical glitches with our internet in Madison. So we will kick off the 11 o'clock hour in 2 minutes after I tell you, talk about getting it right. That's, of course, what Associated Bank does when it comes to customer service. They've got the best customer service in the industry, and they've got all the awards to prove it. Whether it's Packers checking, Badgers checking, or Brewers checking, you can show your fandom, of course, but also They've got early pay, so you have access to your direct deposit up to 2 days early. They've got credit monitoring to make sure you're ready to make that big purchase. And, of course, they've got the fraud protection that's as good as it gets. I experienced it myself. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
It's no secret the NFL's oldest rivalry delivered this season.
But on Saturday night, it's do or die, and the green and gold are coming for it all.
Love has time, floats one, Watson down. Touchdown, Packers!
Get all your Packers wild card coverage with Green Bay Game Day at 4 and Green Bay Game Night immediately after the game on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Looking for a delicious meal without breaking the bank? Cousin Subs has you covered. Our $10 meal deal gives you a 7.5-inch ham and provolone, turkey breast, or veggie sub piled high with fresh hand-sliced ingredients, crisp veggies, and all your favorite toppings. Add a bag of chips, a regular fries, a fountain drink, and a cookie, all for just $10. This deal's available online or through the Cousins app only. And you can enjoy your meal at home, at work, or delivered straight to your door, hot and fresh. Cousin Subs. We believe in better. Available at participating locations. Offer subject to change.
4 years. That's enough time to earn a college degree, to serve a full term as a president, to train for something big and become someone new.
You bet, and get 0% interest for 4 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, so you can invest in your home and in life's biggest moments. With exclusive features and customizations, Pella offers the highest quality products at a price you can afford.
Aim high when setting your New Year's resolution and imagine what you can do in 4 years when you finance your home project with Pella. Visit PellaWI.com today.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been Milwaukee's one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
Did you forget the first day of school is this week and little Nancy still needs her name embroidered on her backpack? Or the company shirts are due now, not next week? Maybe the boss just declared Steve's retirement party is today and the shirts are mandatory? Whatever the rush, Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more in Mequon has got you covered with fast turnarounds, no minimums, eco-friendly printing, and high-quality custom apparel. Big Frog brings your custom ideas to life fast. Stop by Big Frog in Mequon or visit bigfrog.com/Mequon. Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more, where your ideas leap to life.
It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart, located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. National Liquor Mart is packed with deals for all your beverage needs, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily.
Looking for their third win in a row, the Bucks fell 120-113 to the Warriors in San Francisco on Wednesday night. The Bucks rallied from 17 down in the fourth and cut it to 7 late, but couldn't complete the comeback. Giannis Antetokounmpo led the Bucks with 34 points and 10 rebounds. Here's head coach Doc Rivers after the game.
We thought we could generate a ton of threes tonight, and every time we went downhill, we did. And I thought we stopped doing that. And I thought the reason is because we stopped trusting.
The Bucks dropped to 16-21 and continue their West Coast road trip against the Lakers on Friday.
This has been the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart. This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Wildy and Tausch back with you, I think. Joshy working hard to get us up and running as Jesse and Ashton and the crew in Madison work on getting us to where we need to be. Tausch, you know what this throws a big monkey wrench into?
Iron Jock.
Yes, indeed. Caller 178. Joshy, get ready. Tausch, I as we kind of try and recombobulate here, the other part of the discussion with Hafley yesterday was the reality that their run defense had been pretty good for most of the year until it wasn't. Right?
Yep.
And that was obviously, and that's the last image we have of their defense is how poorly it played against Baltimore, because what they did against Minnesota was with none of their frontline guys. We also know, as I think you mentioned even before Waddle did, this is the third-ranked run offense in the league. This is what they do. And Ben Johnson, arrogant though he may be, is also really, really smart. So to what degree do you expect him to say, you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're going to run the football down these guys' throats just the way the Baltimore Ravens did.
I would think, I mean, when you start factoring in everything, that is, A, what they're best at, and then you can run, play action and things off of that. That has to be the thought process, and you look at what the defense is doing and how beat up they are and how much time they've been on the field, the last month of this season. You have to – I always tell you guys that coaches have an idea of what the game flow is going to be. And whether or not that is how it's going to shake out, we don't know. But you go into it with that plan, and then you alter it as you see fit and need to do. Ben Johnson is going to go into this, and, it could be sloppy down there. I don't know if it's going to be snowy, and I think there's talks it's going to be windy and everything else, which is, if I'm a Bears fan, that's what I'm praying for. That you want it sloppy and windy, because Jordan Love wants to throw the football. He's got a strong enough arm. He can cut through it, but obviously the better the conditions, the easier it is to throw. That's how Ben Johnson's going to look at this game, and whether or not they can execute it, because you look at what the Baltimore Ravens did, it's the biggest concern I have. And I thought Green Bay did a decent job in that second game, holding, Monungai and the crew down. But I would just think it is going to be, let me see if you can do this consistently, because that is where the Bears shine, and that is what they need to do to win this game Saturday. And it's going to be a pretty simple, the games. I know we're going to do all of our stuff tomorrow on Friday for the Saturday game, but this is as big of a line of scrimmage game as we've. That is what will determine Saturday night's result. Who's going to win that line of scrimmage, and especially when the Chicago Bears are on offense.
Let's look at the flip side then. My question would be, from the Packers' offensive perspective, two things. One, if it's going to be a game where you want to win the line of scrimmage, obviously, how much better of a chance do you have of that if you have Zach Tom playing instead of J-Mo, Jordan Morgan? And then two, if Matt LaFleur calls you after they're practicing in Lambeau because their practice field is insufficient today. Apparently they're having some issue with the turf or with the grass on both of their practice fields, so they're inside Lambeau for practice today. But if Matt LaFleur called you after he got off the Lambeau practice field and asked, what do you think our offensive thought process should be? What do you think we should do? What should we lean on? What would you say? Especially when you don't know what the conditions are going to be.
Now, this needs to be a Jordan Love, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed game. And, you can hope to get Josh Jacobs going, and that would be great. He's as fresh as he's been. I think this is a pass to get the run game going type of deal. Now, obviously, if it is a monsoon and the winds are coming off of Lake Michigan at 40 miles per, you have to adjust and understand that can also be a part of this. But I want this game to come down to Jordan Love versus Caleb Williams. If I'm Green Bay, I love that. And yes, Caleb Williams has made big plays in the fourth quarter. He's been, he's made some clutch plays, but Jordan Love is a better quarterback, and I want to see him. He's got more playoff experience. This is a Jordan Love game. This is where he kind of takes that next step, and it all is going to start Saturday night.
I thought it was an interesting conversation that we had with Jordan yesterday, because I don't know how you should view his playoff track record. It's 3 games worth, right? He was unbelievable in Dallas. He had that perfect passer rating until Matt LaFleur panicked and put him back into the game, and then Tucker Kraft dropped the pass. So he finished at 157.2. For 2 quarters plus the third quarter, except for the last play of the third quarter, which was an interception, he was really good in that game too. And then he throws the pick at the end of the third quarter, and then he throws the pick at the end of the game when they have an opportunity to go win the game. And he throws it on first down, and he throws it into triple coverage late over the middle. Last year, he bangs his elbow in the Bears game in the finale. I'm not saying there's causation there, but certainly he was dealing with some measure of injury. But he throws 3 picks. And Keyshawn Nixon fumbles the opening kickoff. You're not going to win a road playoff game turning the ball over 4 times. You're just not.
No, you're not.
So in our conversation with him yesterday, maybe we'll be able to play some of the audio tomorrow, but he said somebody else had asked him about his playoff history, and he talked about the lessons that you take from games like that. And so later I followed up, because I'm a follow-up guy. Well, what exactly were the lessons? Like, what do you learn from that? Like, don't throw interceptions? Obviously, you don't want to throw interceptions.
It's a good lesson.
But I think the lesson for him, and this is kind of what he said, was basically, look, don't try to do too much. And I'm curious, Tausch, having played in as many playoff games as you did, is that a real thing that you have to tell yourself, hey, I know it's the playoffs, but I've been doing it the right way all season long. Don't suddenly try to do more, because you're going to end up getting less. Is that a thing, or am I making that up?
That happens. You grow from that. And then last year, for whatever reason, the sloppy play to finish the season, and Philly's defense is obviously very good. They're a championship team. So you factor all that in. I would say it's kind of a mixed bag for where Jordan's at. But Jordan Love this season, this is his best regular season, no doubt about it, from start to finish. He missed a couple games here at the end, but the command that he had and where he's at with this offense, and I think that they finally have kind of figured out how they can move the football without Tucker Kraft and his, what he brings to this group. I think it needs to be Christian Watson and Jordan Love they don't need to be Jerry Rice and Joe Montana, but they need to make some big plays. And if that's the case, you're going to be in a great spot. If not, to me, it feels like Jordan Love needs to play maybe a tick higher than what he's been throughout the regular season. He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to focus on that. I think it just needs to be even a notch better than where he was. And he had a really good regular season. Matter of fact, he was in the MVP race until that fateful day in Denver.
Right. And I think people, especially after the performances of Malik Willis and people asking Matt LaFleur if Malik Willis might give them a better chance to win, I think people forgot how well Jordan Love played this season. Like, his numbers aren't impressive because he missed extended time, but he had a really good season. And he is one of those people that is kind of expressing that quiet confidence and resolve, but he knows he's got to come out in that first quarter and be on point. Like, if they allow themselves to get in a hole because they play with a rust on their offense, that's obviously a concern. So we will continue to work on some of the technical issues. Joshy's doing a great job. We appreciate him putting forth that effort. Tausch, tell us again about Prize Picks. What's their projection on more disconnections on Wilde and Tausch today?
I think it was at 2.5 today, so we're still less, but we're getting close. And it's January. Routines are back. The sports action never slows down. Big football matchups. You got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Oh, baby, 5 or 6 great days, and you should get on Prize Picks. It is daily fantasy made simple. Pick at least 2 player projections. Go more or less. You're done. No drafts, no waiting. Just get on your lineup and let it go. And there's a new feature I love, early payouts. If your lineup starts hot, you can have the option to cash out before the game even finishes. Deposits and withdrawals are fast and easy, and it's available in all 50 states. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use that code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that is code WI to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be
right.
There you go.
More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
It's a new year, and everyone's talking resolutions. Eat better, move more, give up everything fun. Yeah, Carbless says you don't have to do that part, because when you reach for a Carbless, you're choosing a better-for-you cocktail. With 0 carbs, 0 sugar, only 100 calories, and full of flavor, you can stay on track with your New Year's resolutions without having to commit to dry January. Start 2026 with balance, not guilt. Your goals matter, and your fun does too. Carbless, your New Year's first good decision.
Kevin Moret here for Mentality. Life's a relentless competition, and you might be losing without even knowing it. With testosterone levels plummeting 25% in just 2 decades, you're likely operating at a fraction of your potential. Your kids sense it when you're too exhausted for playtime. Your wife notices when that spark fades. Here's the harsh truth. Without addressing low T, nothing works. Diets fail, workouts fall flat, but there's hope. Mentality's FDA-approved treatment restores testosterone by an average of 30%. Don't let low T rob you of life's precious moments. Start at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Want your brand to turn heads and win hearts?
Captivate Exhibits can bring your brand to life by transforming lobbies, creating history walls, and beautifying facilities.
For over 32 years, Captivate has been the MVP of trade show exhibits and workplace design and fabrication. Let Captivate craft immersive branded environments that tell your story boldly, beautifully, and with purpose at events and around the office.
Score big by making your next event or your own space unforgettable. Create something legendary by getting started today at CaptivateExhibits.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Can you feel it? It's the thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating 3. Ha-ha, yeah, you know the feeling. And there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration. Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space with dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxe seating, great food, fiery atmosphere, and a monster video wall. Become a legend at Potawatomi Sportsbook. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
Selling your home during winter may surprise you. Serious buyers are still out there and often more eager to move.
Homes get strong offers this time of year, and with less competition, your listing can really shine.
I'm Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates First Weber.
And I'm Lindsay Bendler. Our team leads with faith, gratitude, and giving back, donating over $200,000 to local causes since 2020.
Tony Wendorf & Associates is ready to get to work for you with our white glove selling experience. Just search online, Tony Wendorf.
A real estate team that always leads with faith and gratitude.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
Dinner chaos? Not tonight. Not when you got Screamin' Sicilian Detroit-style pizza on the table. It's got a thick and airy crust, that crispy, caramelized edge, tons of toppings baked into perfection right in its own pan. Available in cheese. You got the pepperoni, the multi-meat. Supreme is fantastic, all delicious. Every bite brings a little peace and harmony to the table. It's Screamin' Sicilian Detroit-style. Dinner drama diffused. Find it in your local grocer's freezer section.
What's better than cheering for the Packers with an ice-cold beer in your hand? Cheering for the Packers with an ice-cold beer in your hand that you got for 10% off. And when you get Packers checking from Associated Bank, you get even more. Like 10% off food and 10% off drinks on game day. Like that ice-cold beer in your hand. Plus 15% off Pro Shop gear. Only with Packers checking. Associated Bank. Bank of the Packers. Learn more at associatedbank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Continuing Wilde and Tausch without Jesse.
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah.
It's been a day, man.
Amen.
So Josh Jacobs said something yesterday, Tausch. We referenced it earlier in the show. But Josh Jacobs said something yesterday about Austin Booker's hit on Love. And by the way, the same guy who took my seats in the media auditorium, which again, he didn't know. I'm not blaming him. But that same guy asked
Who's the guy
Jordan
that
Love,
who's the guy that Rodgers called a bum? What was his name? I used to do a pregame show with him on the Packers deal.
Oh yeah, Hub Arkish.
Was it Hub? Hub didn't
Arkish.
steal your seat, did he?
It was not Hub. No, it was
okay.
It was someone else who I don't know. I didn't know who they were. But he also asked Jordan Love if he thought the hit was dirty from Austin Booker, and Love smartly, I don't know, and he moved forward like he just sort of ignored it. Doesn't want to put up any bulletin board material, which is smart. Good for Jordan. Savvy play.
Did you? I didn't think it was like some egregious dirty hit.
I
thought
think
it was.
It was
a penalty.
It was, yeah, and it knocked him out of the game. And
it was violent.
I said it was. Yeah, it was violent. It was violent, but it wasn't. Again, as Bears fans incessantly pointed out, he ducks his head. I don't think he's ducking it so he can get hit in the head with Austin Booker's helmet. Now, Austin Booker was fined and penalized because it was the crown of his helmet. He put his head down. Not supposed to do that. But I did not think it was in any way that egregious. Now, the fact that it was the second roughing the passer call that Austin Booker got in that game, I think there's a little bit of a compounding there where you're like, all right, what's with this guy? Is he headhunting a little bit? But I don't think that was the case. That said, something that Josh Jacobs said that we're going to play here was how Jordan Love's teammates felt about that hit.
But I know, a lot of the guys took that hit that he took a little personal, So I'm not saying we're going to go out there and play dirty or nothing like that, but we definitely going to defend our brothers.
Well, they didn't do a great job of defending their brother when it actually happened, as we discussed earlier. Tausch, what is this? Is this anything at all? Is this motivationally something they can hang their helmets on? Is it just Josh talking? What is this?
You want to have your teammates' backs, and I get all that. Is that going to be some determining factor in this game? No. Do I think that there's going to be a little more of an edge because it's a playoff game? Yep. Do I think that it's going to be, hopefully the officials stay out of this game? I know that the crew that is assigned is flag happy, and I'm already very concerned. I hope they get into postseason officiating and they don't be tossing flags, but we shall see. I don't think, listen, man, you can have all of these things that you want to do, and it's going to come down to going out and executing. Is this going to make these guys more focused during the week? I tend to think not. But there's always, it's nice. I think you use every tool of motivation at your disposal. And if this is going to be any way helpful to bring your team together, Josh, go ahead and use it. I'm all for it, because whatever will help you go out and execute and play at a higher level on Saturday, I'm all for.
So, to your point about the officiating crew that you just referenced, and I saw the same thing about how they throw more flags than anybody. They're also the lowest rated of the playoff crews in terms of the grading. You've talked about this before, but if you could do so again, it'd be great. Like Mike McCarthy started doing this at some point during your career. I don't know if Mike Sherman did, but you got scouting reports on officiating crews.
No, Mike Ayers, and I don't remember. Mike Ayers was with Mike Sherman, and that Mike Ayers did that. You want to know everything you can that will help an outcome of a football game, and it's not. We're going to say. Is it as easy as going up to the umpire and saying, "Hey, Johnny, I hope you're doing well." Blah blah blah. Maybe just greasing him up a little bit, telling him how great he is. It's not really where it's at. You want to have an understanding, especially early in a game. How tight do these guys call this? Because refs want to set a tone for a game too, and you typically see less penalties as the game goes on, especially in the postseason, because the refs. While I know somebody came out and said that that are buddies with refs, they like being the center of attention. They like it when they can be on TV. They don't want to be disrupting games. They don't want to be Walt Easley or whatever that guy's name is. So you understand how an officiating crew, what are their tendencies, just like you scout a team, and you hope that you at least learn a little something and you can take it into a game. I'm sure the coaches are all over it when they're making their call, when they're talking to the refs before the game. And, hey, listen, we think that they're going to grab Christian Watson a bunch. Don't let them clutch and grab all game. And you want to put a couple of points of emphasis maybe on a few different officials, and that's about where it goes. Otherwise, yes, you're scouting it like you're doing another team, because that unit, officials make a difference in ball games. A holding call, this is where – you're at 2nd and 4, you get a holding call at 2nd and 14, and you have to punt. In a game like this, you don't know. They didn't punt last time. Those little calls that could get called all the time, understand how often does this group call holding, maybe let off if the quarterback gets out of the pocket. Can't afford having those hits.
So my guy Justice Mosqueda from the Acme Packing Company unpacked this. Adrian Hill is the referee of this crew. They had the second most gross number of penalties, an average of 17.9 per game. They also called the fewest games, 14. So they didn't work it every week, or a couple weeks where they didn't work at all. So that's one. Two, they averaged one offensive holding call per game more than the NFL average. So that would be something that if you were paying attention, you would notice that, but that's negligible, right? That doesn't stand out to the same degree as some other things might, right?
I agree.
Okay. They apparently also are among the highest in terms of pass interference going each way and defensive holding. So does that mean, A, that they're going to call it tighter in the passing game, and B, does that help, hurt, or not affect the Packers whatsoever? It makes me wonder, given the status of the Bears secondary, if that maybe helps the Bears. No?
No, I think it would help the Packers. If you're going to call more PIs, I would think that we're going to throw the football more and put more pressure on their defensive backs. So I would think that would be more in line. I love postseason officiating because typically you don't see a ton of yellow. I don't want to see a ton of yellow. I want to see a bunch of players making the decisions and the players fighting through stuff. If it's egregious, absolutely. But I'm not interested in little baby clutch and grabs, and then on 3rd and 20, you're going to give the Bears a first down because Keyshawn Nixon grabbed at DJ Moore. I'm not interested in that. Let these guys play. If it's an egregious, you're tackling a guy and he can't make the play, yep, throw the flag. But if there's a ton of PIs and there's a ton of holdings, I hate watching that. I hate watching that. I dislike.
There's that word again.
Watching that type of football.
And you said that on Twitter during one of the games recently that it's good to see postseason. It'll be good to see postseason officiating return or something to that effect.
Yeah, it just ruins games for me when you're like. We always understand on special teams there's going to be, well, look and see, how's our flag? I'm not interested in that life on regular plays. I'm just not, and I hope most fans aren't because it does ruin. It ruins the whole point of this is you want to celebrate in real time, and I disliked Peacock when they didn't put the flag up on the screen, and I had to text Jesse to find out if it happened in real time. That was not fun.
Suboptimal. All right, I do think this is worth noting because this will require them to go against what they did in the regular season if you're going to get what you want from an officiating standpoint. Their games have a 46% higher defensive pass interference rate and a 102% higher rate in illegal contact calls. As Justice writes, they're not going to let the boys play. Unless, of course, they decide in the playoffs to follow the Tausch rule. So we'll have to wait and see. And, again, we'll have to wait and see how
I don't understand how in a postseason you have a group that didn't even ref every week reffing.
Totally agree.
Makes no sense.
I don't understand it either. Makes no sense to me.
I really hope that we're not sitting here on Saturday night and on Monday talking about any big officiating errors. The good news is you have the little sky judge thing going, but that doesn't count with pass interferences and late hits and holdings. Just steer clear, fellas. Don't be flag happy. Call your game, but let's be below. Let's be below what your league average is because the postseason is different, and we don't want this game decided by yellow.
Agreed. Tausch, tell us about Jones Dairy Farm.
I will. Jones Dairy Farm, family-owned and operated. 7 generations in Fort Atkinson all the way back to 1889, and they're best known for their all-natural sausage made from the original family recipe. It's also available. You know I love my pork, get it all crispy on the edges, throw it into your orchetta. They also have chicken and turkey. Sausage is made with fresh meat, no fillers, no nitrates, no MSG. And Jones also makes beautiful natural smoked ham and Canadian bacon, and of course their dry-aged bacon, Braunschweiger, and all fully cooked meatballs. Find all of Jones products in grocery stores across Wisconsin. Check the website's product finder at jonesdairyfarm.com.
This may be the longest final segment in the history of Wilde and Tausch because we're actually hitting the 11:45 mark.
Are we going to try and are we going to push Iron Jock to tomorrow? Are we going to try and do
I am working on getting an answer from the powers that be on that.
Joshy, should we do it or not?
I am very curious to see what kind of an approach you would take.
I would be very delicate. If it's Joshy,
taking the calls,
it's going to be white gloved. Let's put it that way. But I can't hear anything, so I'm not going to say anything until I don't know what the rules are.
We'll work on getting an answer on that next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Tracy Lawrence for the U.S. Air Force.
We all have tough choices we have to make. Life just works that way. I remember when I was getting ready to move to Nashville to pursue my dream, I packed my 10-year-old Toyota Corolla with 250,000 miles on it and hit the road. It was a tough choice, but the right one for me. If I decided to take what seemed like an easier road, I never would have achieved my dream. You can do anything if you put your mind to it. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether you're situated...
Green Jackets, top tech simulators, great food, and the best Bloody Marys around. This is your year-round slice of summer. Bays start at just $35 an hour, Monday through Friday. Book your bay today at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
According to American writer H.L. Mencken, a well-stocked bar can create over 17 billion different cocktails. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. I don't know if 17 billion is accurate or not, but I do know that Discount Liquor is the place to find everything you need to be well-stocked for any occasion. Discount Liquor is Wisconsin's home to over 2,000 varieties of beer, 3,500 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines. Our unparalleled selection is rivaled only by our incredible savings and everyday low prices. And we know how to take care of our customers, no matter the occasion. In fact, Discount Liquor has won numerous national and local awards. Visit Discount Liquor at our Milwaukee or Waukesha locations. Family owned and operated since 1960.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
In Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Main and Barstow. Check out our specials at discountliquorinc.com.
With your Saganiac Plenty Marquette recap, I'm Chris Larson. Marquette snapped a 6-game losing streak and picked up its first Big East win of the season, edging Xavier 66-65 at Fiserv Forum. 4 Golden Eagles scored in double figures, led by sophomore Royce Parham's 14 points and 8 rebounds.
Stevens, he'll go to the basket. He tries to launch and hammer, but he hammered the back of the rim. Now they get the ball inside to Parham. Counted a foul.
Marquette improved to 6-10 overall and 1-4 in conference play. They're back at Fiserv Forum Saturday afternoon to host Villanova.
Your business is unique, and your health plan should be too. At United Healthcare, our group health plans are built for you and your employees. Whether you're running a small startup or managing a large enterprise, we offer solutions designed to fit your needs, your goals, and your budget. Explore your options today at uhc.com/Wisconsin. Insurance coverage provided by or through United Healthcare Insurance Company or its affiliates. Administrative services provided by United Healthcare Services, Inc. or their affiliates. Health plan coverage provided by or through United Healthcare of Wisconsin, Inc.
Is back pain slowing you down? The OAW Spine Center offers specialized care with advanced treatments for herniated discs, spinal fusion, and more. Their board-certified orthopedic care specialists use the least invasive methods, starting with non-surgical options. If surgery is needed, they provide minimally invasive procedures. The OAW Spine specialists focus on getting you back to an active lifestyle faster. The OAW Spine Center. There is a difference. Visit OAWSpineCenter.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Once again, we have been infiltrated by Bears fans. Dylan is eager for some attention in the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube chat, which is fine. again, I'm told that there are a few Packers fans that are known to do this with our ESPN Chicago guys and everything else. So it's fine. Hey, it's all in good fun. But I've had multiple people who have wanted to point out that these guys played without Roma Dunze in their 2 matchups previously. Tausch, how do you view the talent differential here? And we'll get into all of our preview stuff tomorrow. But, okay, if we play this game, well, the Packers played without Zach Tom. Well, the Bears played without Roma Dunze. Oh, the Packers played without Evan Williams in that game. There's part of me that would say, if Evan Williams is playing, they don't mess up the communication on the game-tying touchdown, right? Because Evan Williams is pretty darn good at that. At the same time, if they have Roma Dunze, maybe he's wide open running a different route. So none of us know. But when you look at if they have everyone at full strength, I feel like we agree that the Packers, as of today, January 8th, 2026, have the better roster. Are we in agreement on that, or am I making an assumption?
No, I think, listen, we're going to look at it from that perspective. I know I will. Injuries are always going to play a factor. Who's healthiest, who's not. And I think it's, someone said this, and I thought, boy, that sounds crazy. But when you have 2 of your 4 best players out on IR, but you can honestly say this is the healthiest this team has been in quite a while. And I think that statement is true. You pretty much have, I know Bo Melton got put on IR, and he's a big piece to what they do special teams. He's caught a touchdown against the Bears. You're about as full strength as you can be without Tucker Kraft and without Micah. You got almost all your guys. You got your starting O-line back now. Once Elton Jenkins got put on IR, and you got your crew that you want to line up with. You got your receiving core. You got your back end. You got your secondary kind of back to where you want it to be as long as Bullard is good to go. So Green Bay, for not having Tucker and not having Micah, I think you'd say that this is an advantage from a health standpoint to the Green Bay Packers, no doubt.
And again, then it leads to the question of the rust question. They did what they needed to do to get healthy. Now will they play in a way that says, oh, they had a week off of not playing? Now, I did get corrected, or someone did, maybe it wasn't me, because somebody said the frontline players had the week off. And Xavier McKinney said, no, we had a game off. It's not like we didn't practice all last week. And they did some more good on good, as they like to say, ones against ones, to try and get them work in a controlled environment. I think that's a worthwhile differentiation, right? I mean, they practiced all week. It's not like they were resting and drinking Mai Tais in the locker room. But still, there's a difference between playing in games and not. And so this will be a storyline. If he is right and they are healthier and they win this game, will there be nearly as much conversation about how he played it right as there will be if they look rusty offensively and they lose this game and the story is they played it wrong by not playing their guys in Minnesota? There's no way there'll be just as many stories about, hey, he made the right decision getting them healthy, as there would be of, oh, boy, he really screwed this up by not having his guys play, right?
Are you legitimately asking me that question? Because you already answered it.
I kind of know what your answer is going to be.
Yeah, but you answered it too. Of course, nobody is going to be sitting here Monday and saying, "Atta baby, LaFleur, you nailed it. You arrested him, and the boys came out. And if you do, it'll be for 2 seconds. And if you don't, you're going to talk about it for 3 days." And that is the nature of sports. When things go south, you really dig into why. And when you don't, you're celebrating the great, and then you're looking forward to what's next. That's how this works. And I hope, and I think Matt LaFleur hopes, he doesn't need us sitting here patting him on the back saying, oh, great job, Matt. You rested the guys. They're fresh, and they played guns a-blazing, and we beat the Bears by 20, and everybody's happy. That's the reward itself. So, yeah, I mean, you're going to be criticized as a head football coach. I don't care how great you are. You're going to be criticized. I don't care what decisions you make. And you're judged off of the results of those. Everybody can say process, and that's what you should do. As a coach, as a general manager, you stick to your process that believes it works. But when the results don't come, you're going to be criticized. Matt LaFleur put a big old matzo ball out there of potential criticism for how he approached it. And by the way, Ben Johnson, you could look at it too. If his guys are beaten down and we wear him into the dirt, but there was not really, in my eyes, a decision he had to make. He had to do what he did.
Right.
But you miss a guy, and all of a sudden now they have a nickel corner in there that can't play, and he's not good, and you torch him because they had a concussion. That also plays into it. So you want to get as many healthy cats as you can for your game in the playoffs, and then you let the chips fall where they will.
Tell us about Iron Jock. We're not going to give anything away today. We're going to double up tomorrow.
Josh,
but tell us a little bit about Iron Jock.
He didn't want that smoke. Josh don't want that smoke. We'll do that another day. New year, new goals. Iron Jock is here to help you stick to them. Whether you're hitting the gym, head to work, or just trying to smell a whole lot better in 2026, Iron Jock has you covered. Right now, ESPN listeners take 30% off all Iron Jock gear on orders over $75. Use the promo code ESPN30 at checkout. That's promo code ESPN30. Smell great and start the new year strong with Iron Jock.
That's it for us today, and what an adventure it was.
Can only imagine Jesse's adventure. We haven't heard from him in a while.
We'll have to check in with him. In some ways, that was actually nice. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Thanks to Tom Waddle, who, while we had him, was terrific. And thanks to you for listening. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Hey, it's your friend John McGivern. In a world full of chaos, I'm grateful